Good morning, everyone. Welcome to the ICC Cricket Academy for day one of the Dafa New commentator Abdurrahman. Good morning, Abdurrahman. How are you?
Good morning. Feeling good. It's really nice weather here today. Very excited for this first international game.
Of course, today's match is the first T20I between Namibia and UAE, the national team of the UAE coming back into action after a fairly long time. But Namibia on the verge of making history might qualify for the World T20. So this warm-up series has a lot at stake for them. Right then, let's go across for the pitch report of this game. Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the Dafa News Summer T20 BASH 2021. It's game one of the tournament. It's between Namibia and UAE, so let's take a look at the pitch here at the ICC Cricket Academy. There's a lot of fresh grass at both ends, and there's a breeze blowing across me towards that end. So if I'm the captain of either side, I'll be looking to bowl first, bowl them out cheaply, and then chase that run down as soon as the afternoon kicks in, when the conditions get a bit flatter. And then you can chase about 140, 150. Looks like a decent target to chase. So win the toss and bowl first is my suggestion. Back to the comm box. Right then, the pitch looking quite a spicy one. Plenty of grass at both ends and the breeze blowing across the ground. Abdurrahman, you would have fancied bowling in these conditions.
Yeah, you were spot on the pitch report, Ahmed. It looks a fresh wicket, and whenever you see a fresh wicket, you always try to go and bowl first. So let's see what happens at the toss with the two captains and whether they follow your lead or not.
To the toss, it's the match between UAE and Namibia for the Dafa News Summer T20 BASH. Let's go for the toss. I have the two parties with me. Ahmed Raza, the captain of UAE, Gerard Erasmus, the captain of Namibia, and Wendell Lebroy, the match referee for today. Namibia has the coin. Gerard will flip it. Tails is the call. It is tails. So, Ahmed, have you won the toss? What do you want to do? You're going to bowl first, right? So that is the news from the middle. Ahmed Raza from UAE has won the toss and he has decided to bowl first.
Right then, news from the centre is that Ahmed Raza, captain of the UAE, has won the toss. And like I suggested, he's elected to bowl first, Abdurrahman.
Well, you were spot on from a captaincy point of view, Ahmed. There was definitely the need to bowl first. We have a look at the UAE team. I think there's a debut for the T20 International for Kashif Dawood, who's coming into the side, and senior statesman Rohan Mustafa handing him the cap. Brilliant to watch, the entire team celebrating. It's an international game for him. He's played 50 over format. He's making a debut on the 20 over format.
Absolutely, the journey to the World Cup 2023, and of course the next World T20 starts today. The grey and red of the UAE national team coming back together after a long time. You could see the likes of Chirag Suri, Kashif Dawood, Vidya Arvind, Ahmed Raza, Mohammad Wasim. It's a side packed with superstars.
And it's a side packed with a lot of batting as well. We see Mohammad Wasim, Kashif Dawood can bat as well, Mohammad Usman. A lot of batting in this, and again winning the toss and fielding first, the good decision by the UAE team. We have a look at the umpires walk in. Mr. Iftikhar Ali from the UAE.
Yes, a very seasoned umpire and a match referee as well. We've worked a lot with him in the past. A very pleasant fellow and extremely good at his job. But this is a true test. Namibia, they're contenders to make it at the World T20. They have a game in just about 2 weeks' time, starting with Sri Lanka in round one of the qualifiers to the big show itself. This is an excellent test here for the UAE team, coming together after a long time.
Yes, it's going to be very interesting to see. There's a certain international player by the name of David Wiesa in the Namibia side. There's going to be a lot to prove for the men in grey. They're playing at home against Namibia. Narrowly missed out on the qualifiers for the T20 World Cup. And as you mentioned, Namibia will be going to Oman for the qualifiers. So for them as well, these games are very important. They want to make a stand. They want to show that they belong at that stage.
A very serious looking team huddle there. But of course, it is a very big occasion. They're coming together after quite a while. It's a big series, some tough competition. Namibia are battle hardened. They've had a long road back to the top. Of course, you must have remembered seeing them in the ODI World Cup of 2003. And now they're on the doorstep of making history and reaching the World T20.
We have a look at the batsman walking in for Namibia. It's alien conditions for them in terms of the weather. But again, this is much better than what we were seeing in the past few weeks.
Of course, we are live from the ICC Academy ground here in Dubai. World-class facilities for some world-class cricketers. And it's going to be a very interesting series. One side that knows their combination, knows how to operate, knows their strengths and weaknesses, and the UAE side, they've been in a lot of pre-series camps. They've been very active on the club domestic cricket scene, but now being 11 men united in the middle of the ground, when you cross that white line, it's a different kettle of fish altogether.
Yeah, we were covering the 50-over games for the domestic circuit just a couple of weeks ago. They were all competing against each other. It's good to see some of the guys walk back into the side. Usman, who had injured his hand, he's back in their team as well, so it looked good to see him on the ground.
And of course, it's the Silver Fox himself, Ahmed Raza, the captain of the UAE. A very proud moment for him. Back in national colours. A lot is expected from him. He's a left-arm orthodox bowler. He's tall, he gets bounce, he gets turn. And his leadership qualities are second to none, Abdurrahman.
Yeah, we saw his captaincy is really good in the domestic cricket. Here you can see Sultan Ahmed. He's going to bowl with the new ball. Usually in the shorter format, the T10, the T20 formats, he bowls with the new ball. And they have a lot of bowling, fast bowling as well. Kashif Dawood's in the lineup. Zahoor Khan's in the lineup as well. Zahoor was actually training with the Chennai Super Kings, so he'll be in a good rhythm. As we have a look at the opener, Stefan Bard, 29 years old, 410 runs, and that strike rate 125. Not bad at all for a 20-over format.
Absolutely, that strike rate is more than acceptable at T20I level. Sultan Ahmed, 21 wickets to his name. This is his 23rd cap. That economy rate in T20 cricket, 5.9, is absolutely outstanding, especially with the new ball, bowling in the batting power play. It's a very difficult challenge. Right then, here we go. Dafa News Summer T20. Short ball cut away this time towards backward point, and the first ball of the tournament is going for 4.
An indifferent start there by Sultan. He's usually very stump to stump from the beginning, but a loosener outside off stump. And Stefan Bard did not need a second introduction. Just goes with the shot and goes for 4. So good start for Namibia. 4 for no loss in the first over.
Lovely shot, just short and wide, beating that point fielder. He should have done better, to be honest. This time, punch down the ground, quick single here, long on in place. So Stefan Bard, he's off and running in some style.
Yeah, with much better from Sultan as well, right in the stumps. And that's his strength. That's good to watch. Green, left-handed batsmen have gone with the right-hand, left-hand combination.
Yes, it's always important to remember matchups in T20I cricket. That is the buzzword going around in franchise cricket all around the world. Zayn Green, 3 sixes to his name, just 24 years of age, so early days just yet. Let's see how he can go. Round the wicket, tucked away to square leg, and he'll get off the mark efficiently as well.
Yeah, solid start there. That first boundary, loosening Namibia, relaxing their nerves just a little bit. 6 runs out the first 3 balls. If we have a look at Vritya Arvind, he's back in the UAE lineup behind the stumps.
Nicely punched, but straight to cover fielder. That's done very, very well. Chirag Suri, the superstar of UAE cricket.
Yeah, good to see him back in the field. He was unfit during the domestic tournament, and again, they were all in quarantine, but they were training really hard. So we'll have to have a look at how they go ahead in the field.
Oh, inside edge past the keeper. My goodness, that was very close. Fine leg is racing after it, but they'll scurry through for 2. That could have gone absolutely anywhere.
Very lucky Bard. Could have been an inside edge crashing into the stumps. But Instead, they get 2 runs.
You need to be very careful here when you're facing Sultan Ahmed. You have to be careful with those cross-batted shots. Fired in towards middle and leg, tucked away towards mid-wicket. They'll stick to a single. So the first over gone. Namibia are 9 for no loss.
Well, that's a very good start, and again, good batting. You can see these guys know exactly what they want to do. The loose ball was sent for 4, and then they've taken up 5 singles in the over, not playing out any dot balls as well. So 9 runs in the first over.
8 of 5 is barred, and Zain Green 1 of 1, so he's looking comfortable. I think the pitch, we were suggesting that perhaps there's a healthy amount of grass on both ends. Perhaps should have started with the seam bowlers. What do you think, Abdurrahman?
Well, with Sultan in the lineup, they will always go with him with the new ball, but maybe they missed a trick and didn't go with either Kashif or Zahoor in the first over. We've seen that in 20 over format. Usually the captain goes with a spinner in the first over just to gauge how the batsmen are going to get that 1 over out of the way. As we have a look at Kashif Dawood, he's making his T20 debut for the UAE. Age 35, but he's supremely fit.
Extremely handy all-rounder. Swings the ball both ways and can bat in the middle order as well. Get some quick runs for you. He's a very, very top-class cricketer. And also does some coaching in the Sharjah Cricket Academy. So making his T20I debut. What a moment for him. Down the leg side, nicely flicked away towards square leg. They'll pick up single. Basil Hamid moving in very swiftly there. So Bard is looking in decent touch. Perhaps the lines have not been as accurate as Ahmed Raza would have liked. Rohan Mustafa on screen there. We all know plenty about him. A jolly character, a lively character, and a top-class player as well.
And I wouldn't be surprised if he comes into bowl with the new ball as well, with the left-hander on strike. Sultan had an indifferent start, so we might even see Rohan Mustafa come into bowl as early as the 4th or 5th over. Kashif Dawood will feeling just a little bit of the nerves.
Nicely punched off the back foot, but straight to that man Rohan Mustafa at backward point. Well, I would like to say one thing here, Abdurrahman. You have chosen to bowl first. How about giving your fast bowler an attacking field, get some slips in there?
Well, again, I think the fact that we were covering a 50 over format might have spoilt us just a little bit. The 20 over format.
Kashif Dawood continuing round the wicket to Zain Green. Nicely worked once again, but straight to the cover fielder. Chirag Suri, very active, very lively, on and off the field. He only goes at one speed.
If you follow his TikTok and his reels and his Instagram account, you'll know that he's a very lively character on and off the field as well. And his batting has improved so much. It's become very destructive.
Oh, wide slash at that one. My goodness, that could have gone absolutely anywhere. And umpire Iftikhar Ali, outstretched arms. That's the first extra of the day.
Well, based on that delivery, I think you're absolutely spot on, Ahmed. They should get that slip in. He's getting the ball to move away from the left-hander. He slashed at 2 outside off. Both went to the point region. This one moved quite a bit off the pitch. If he can get his line right, that length is absolutely perfect.
Once again, that live grass at both ends. This time over square leg. Straight to the fielder. Kashif Dawood has got a wicket on debut. What a start!
Absolutely brilliant. First over, Green playing that square leg flick shot, not timing it as well, and Kashif Dawood on debut takes the first wicket. Absolutely brilliant scenes.
It was Rizwan CP at square leg with the safe hands. It was a bit short on midland leg. The shot was on, but straight down the fielder's throat, who took a very, very good catch. Well done, Rizwan CP.
But this will give Kashif Dawood a lot of confidence. Again, on debut, there are a lot of nerves when you're coming into bowl. Regardless of how much cricket you've played domestically or in the nets, it's just a completely different feeling when you're in an international debut.
Absolutely, it's a different kind of pressure. It's a different kind of feeling in front of a televised audience, millions watching at home and on social media. But that man on screen, number 14, Kashif Dawood, what a moment for him. He's toiled hard, he's worked hard for this moment, and getting a wicket in just your fourth delivery, that'll give him a lot of confidence.
And again, we were talking about that line. He is getting the ball to move just a little bit. The ball previous to this was a wide outside off stump, but this one right in the stumps. Comes into bowl again.
Nicely punched, but straight to the cover fielder. It's Craig that has come out to bat with Bard, 9 of 6. So it's been a successful over, a tight start. I would still like to see a more attacking field here for Kashif Dawood, Abdurrahman.
Well, with the two right-handers on strike now, I think, yes, a slip coming in would be an ideal situation. He is getting that ball to move away from the right-hander as well. Kashif can bowl in both directions.
Nicely cut away and beautiful fielding at the cover point. My goodness, brilliant stuff.
Absolutely magnificent from Rizwan. He's come in from the boundary. He was at square leg for the left-hander. Just came in to the point region and saves a certain boundary. So Kashif Dawood just giving away the 2 runs. One of them was an extra. That was absolutely brilliant. And that's what you need in the field to support your bowler.
That was absolutely smashed. And Rizwan CP just admonishing himself. He should have had a shy at the stumps, but he saved a certain 4 runs for his side. 11 for 1 after 2 overs, and Kashif Dawood with a successful start. A wicket to his name, only 2 runs given away. And Sultan Ahmed will continue from the other end. It's the Blue Eagles of Namibia versus the Falcons of the UAE. Oh, beats the outside edge. Quicker delivery, just seamed off the deck a bit. Beautiful stuff.
That's a stock delivery. That's his bread and butter for Sultan. Again, the first ball was a bit of a loosener, but now he's found his line, and look at that length as well. You don't know whether you want to go on the back foot or the front foot. Absolutely brilliant.
This time lovely punch through extra cover. The fielder dives around, and the captain Ahmed Raza at mid-off does extremely well. That was very well struck by Craig Williams, and he gets off the mark. So the UAE team are absolutely switched on here. They've been ready for this moment.
Yes, they seem to be a lot more hungrier than Namibia at the moment. They've been out of the international scene for quite a while.
Reverse sweep past the keeper. My goodness, well executed shot there from Bard. Kashif Dawood, oh my goodness. Almost got there, just trickled away, and that's 4 runs for Namibia.
Well, if you've ever played on the ICC Academy grounds, you know these outfield is lightning fast. Again, that wasn't even timed that properly. Just got a little bit of bat on it. It's a lot of pace from Sultan. And look at that ball, just goes over the outfield so quickly. Kashif had absolutely no chance.
And of course, he is bowling with the breeze, interestingly. So that ball is going through even quicker. This time, tried to cut that away, bit of a bottom edge. But Jonathan Bard is not wasting any time. He's going to get on with the game. He backs himself, and that's the right approach in white ball cricket. You can't die wondering, just go after the ball.
Nice, nice.
Once again, trying to power that through extra cover. But Sultan is doing an excellent job here for his captain.
Good dodge, Silly.
13 off 11. Once again, that reverse. Kashif Dawood, a bit of a misfield. He got a slight hand to it, but it will run away for 4. That's poor stuff from the big burly all-rounder.
Well, he sets himself on very high standards, Kashif Dawood. He's a very good outfielder. Will be very disappointed, but again, very good looking shot. As soon as it passes the infield, it's going for 4. That outfield is lightning quick today.
Absolutely. So Sultan Ahmed looking a bit miffed, looking a bit grumpy. He wouldn't have liked those misfields from his fellow bowler. But still, the run rate is pretty much in check. Not too many runs on the board for Namibia. This is the picturesque ICC ground. And let's take a look at the playing 11s then. Stephen Bard opening for Namibia, Zane Green, Craig Williams, Merv Erasmus, the captain, David Wiesa, a very famous player, played all around franchise cricket in T20s, JJ Smith, Jan Freiling, Piki Yafrance, Ruben Trumpelman, Carl Birkenstock and Bernard Schultz.
Well, I've got the easy part now. The UAE team, Mohammad Wasim, Chirag Suri, Rizwan CP, Vritya Arvin, Mohammad Usman, Rohan Mustafa, Kashif Dawood on debut, Ahmed Raza the captain, Sultan Ahmed, Zahoor Khan and Basil Hamid. It's a very strong batting lineup for UAE today.
Absolutely, they bat deep and they bat big. That's a very, very strong lineup. Kashif Dawood to continue. Worked away towards cover. 20 for 1 is the score. And what I like about Bard's batting here, he has his plans very clear. If Sultan Ahmed is going to fire that ball in, I'm going to reverse him, or I'm trying to punch the ball through cover point. So he's come well prepared and he's batting really nicely out there. Pressure on Craig Williams to give him some support though. 20 for 1 the score for the Blue Eagles. Down the leg side, fine leg is in the circle, but he didn't get enough bat on it. It is going to pull up. With Zahoor Khan, another excellent seam bowler, played in the PSL recently for Quetta Gladiators. I'm excited to see him bowl as well.
And we'll see him come bowl in the death most probably. Again, it'll be very exciting to see when he comes to bowl, most probably against the likes of David Wiesa. But Kashif Dawood just trying a little bit too much. I think that line just on outside off stump, moving away.
This time firmly off the back foot. That's much more like it. Just be on that good length spot around that off and middle line. There's not much a batter can do about that.
Whether it's a 20-over game, test match, even in a one-day, that line outside off stump, just top of off stump, it's very difficult to get away. You need to improvise as a batsman, shuffle across, or maybe play the hook, or the ramp shot or something like that.
Oh, down the ground this time, and immediately recognized that the batter was coming out and changed his length, pulled it back. Excellent bowling by Kashif. He's only conceded 3 runs in his 10 deliveries. That is outstanding stuff. And that too on debut, Abdurrahman.
Yeah, and one of them was a wide. So it's very difficult to get bat on ball with Kashif Dawood bowling.
The UAE have kept a lid on the scoring. I think they won't want to chase anything more than 150 on this track. So they've kept the scoring under check for now. Down the leg side, nicely flicked away towards square leg. Basil Hamid cleans up. Good sharp throw there. The UAE seem to be very switched on. The body language is excellent.
Well, you have a look at Bard batting. It's like he's batting on a completely different surface. He looks very confident, very compact in his technique as well. He'll have to get that support from Craig if they want to get to that 160, 170 mark, which I think will be a safe total against a strong UAE batting lineup.
Pulled away this time. Basil Hamid is working hard at square leg and he won't make it. That's a top shot. 4 overs gone. Namibia 28 for 1.
Well, that's a very disappointing finish by Kashif Dawood. He was bowling well. That over was going nicely. But then he bowls a short delivery. The ball goes for 4 to fine leg.
Doesn't quite have the pace to bowl that length. Nicely turned away. Nice swivel pull there from Craig Williams. And as soon as he found the gap with that lightning outfield, he was going all the way. There you can see the Team Namibia dugout. These warm-up games before round 1 of the World T20 are absolutely crucial for them. Their next 3 or 4 games are basically finals for them to fulfill a dream to play at the T20 World Cup. And they're oh so close. It's within touching distance. This man is looking very confident out there. Batting beautifully. Very organized technical player. Doesn't play too many crazy shots over the top of the outfield. It's just correct along the carpet. And if you can succeed like that at T20I level, you'll make a lot of runs.
Yes, all this excitement of playing ramp shots and flicks and behind the keeper, sometimes just need to keep it simple as an opening batsman. With the field in the circle, there are a lot more gaps. Once you're through that gap, the ball is always going to go for 4. We have a look at the bowling change now. Zahoor Khan, interestingly, coming to bowl in the power play.
Nicely punched, but there's a mid-wicket in place. A career economy rate of 6.8 for Zahoor Khan. That is absolutely outstanding, Abdurrahman.
And again, you have to remember that he bowls at least 3 overs in the death. So 6.8 bowling in the death is absolutely magnificent.
His trademark delivery is that slower bouncer. He bowls that really well. So the Namibia team will need to be careful. Watch out for that one. That's his wicket-taking ball. Worked away towards mid-wicket. In the gap this time. Mohammad Usman will clean up, but they will pick up a single.
Well, I am going to say something absolutely blasphemous with Bard. Reminds me of a South African batsman.
I have one in mind as well, but I'll wait for you first.
With certain A, B and D in his initials, but if you look at the way he bats and the face of the bat when he plays it on the leg side, very familiar to A.B. de Villiers.
Well, honestly, I had an English player of South African origin, Jason Roy.
Yes.
Very similar techniques. Nicely glided away. Short third man in the circle. That is a beautifully executed shot by Craig Williams for 4.
Very intelligent. He knew third man was in the circle. All he needed to do was get a little bit of bat on it. And he's guided it down to the third man boundary for 4. So good start there from Namibia.
Really well executed shot. A bit too much room there. Short third man in the circle. That is absolutely criminal. Zahoor Khan, you need to bowl a lot straighter. That's a free boundary basically.
Well, they're making a change now. Third man is going back and deep cover is coming in. Interesting to see that deep cover fielder outside the circle in the beginning for Zahoor Khan.
This time goes for that big expansive shot. My goodness. Extra bounce there for Zahoor. Craig Williams a bit overconfident there.
Well, with the cover fielder now in the circle and mid-off in the circle as well, I think he was just trying to go over them and get a boundary. But Zahoor Khan is deceptively quick. So good comeback from Zahoor.
Yeah, it's fair enough. There's only 6 overs of the batting power play. You have to maximize your scoring shots. Slower delivery this time, punched past mid-off. But Ahmed Raza will clean up. Tall, lanky, left-arm orthodox bowler. He'll have a big role to play this afternoon.
As this is a fresh wicket, as you were mentioning at the pitch report, somebody like Ahmed Raza will play a huge role here. He bowls from a very long, very tall height and gets a lot of bounce.
And of course, it's a very spin-heavy lineup here. Rizwan CP can bowl some leg break. Basil Hamid off spin. Ahmed Raza himself. So they just need to negotiate the first 6 overs with the seamers. Save Zahoor and Kashif for the death perhaps. And get that spin strangle on. Lovely punch down the ground this time. That is going all the way for 4. A handsome drive by Stephen Bard.
Well, that had Jason Roy's influence all over it, Ahmed. Absolutely brilliant shot that. Straight drive, full face of the bat and goes racing to the boundary for 4. So an expensive over by Zahoor Khan. Let's have a look at that again. Yes, very much like the player you were mentioning. So Namibia is off to a very good start.
And with that princely off drive, I'll just step out of the comm box, and to replace me would be Shoaib Ahmed.
One exchange. Right time over.
Thank you, Ahmed. A very good morning to all our viewers all around the world. The first game between UAE and Namibia, the one-off T20 International. Abdul Rahman, a good start here for Namibia, 38 for 1 in the 5 overs that have been played so far. Last over of the power play. Will be looking to capitalize here.
Well, the wily Rohan Mustafa coming into bowl. Welcome to the comm box, Shoaib. Good to have you on the side. And yes, a very good start there. Fuller delivery this time. So running to the boundary for 4. Brilliant cover drive there by Craig. Mustafa just a little bit fuller in length. And 42 in 5.2. Absolutely brilliant start by Namibia in the power play.
Yes, in fact, the first few overs were a little sedate for Namibia, but they've got their foot set in right now and looking absolutely magical. That drive, the glorious drive from the bat of Craig, who's on 15 of 12, looks really good. Meanwhile, another good shot there. So scoring in boundaries are Namibia, and that was another effective shot clearing the infield. Looks really, really good, Craig.
Yes, an aggressive shot again. Once you clear that inner circle, the ball is always going to race away for 4. This is a lightning fast outfield at the ICC Academy. And Rohan Mustafa now under pressure, having to bowl in the power play. He's already conceded 2 boundaries in the first 3 deliveries.
Yes, definitely some pressure on Rohan Mustafa. This time, good single. So this is good batting, sensible batting from both these Namibia batters, Bard and Craig. They know they've got a few boundaries and now they can rotate, strike and keep the scoreboard ticking. This is absolutely brilliant batting coming in from Namibia.
Almost 50 odd runs in the power play is an absolutely brilliant start. Again on the pads with the long on and deep mid wicket. That's the only line Rohan Mustafa can bowl. The batsman will know that. So having taken 2 boundaries, now they've got 2 singles and 10 runs off the over already.
Another good single taken. In fact, they're going for 2 and will get them easily. This is good running between the wickets. So they're not only displaying a good stroke play, they also are showing us that they're really good between the wickets. 6 overs gone, Namibia 50 for 1.
Well, with that double, the 50 comes up for Namibia in just the power play. That's the ideal start when you come into bat, especially when the captain, the opposing captain, has put you in. So if we look at that batting lineup, Stephen Bard, 24 of 17 deliveries. Craig Williams just walked in, 15 deliveries, 22 runs. There's a lot of batting still to come. That man, David Wiesa, if he can get 6 or 7 overs, Shoaib, he could change this game completely. So they've got an excellent platform for somebody to come in and play strong.
Yes, it's absolutely a good start, no doubt about that for Namibia, but things will slow down a little bit since the power play overs are done and you will see some spin attack. The skipper of UAE, Ahmed Raza, has brought himself in. 41 matches, 29 wickets, an average of 30, but a very, very good economy of 6.28. That's really good bowling in a T20 format.
Yes, he usually comes into bowl after the power play, but has a lot of pressure. Sometimes even bowls in the death overs. 6.28 economy rate. Absolutely magnificent. He has a big role to play now. Namibia is off to a very good start.
Yes, a premeditated shot there. And will get 2 runs for that shot. Way outside off, and he still went for that paddle sweep or just a scoop sweep. I don't know what they call it nowadays. So many sweeps and switch hits and reverse hits and all of that. So, but already had decided that he wanted to play that shot, and that ball was way outside off. In normal cricket, a coach would have actually pulled you up for playing that kind of shot, but not anymore in World T20.
Raza coming in again. This time the reverse sweep. So we're having a look at everything happening. Yes, life was much simpler in the old days when there were just the cut, the cover drive, the straight drive, and the pull. But now, as you can say, premeditated. And it was interesting that first shot when he played that premeditated sweep. Even Kashif Dawood was premeditating at short fine leg, and he went in the completely wrong direction. This is why they ran 2. But this misfield now causing 1 run. Craig Williams comes on strike for the first time.
No run.
That's right, a good looking shot, but straight to the fielder, Chirag Suri, at short covers. And again that reverse sweep, trying to go for that shot, and that is why it's not been called a wide. So good umpiring there, realizing that the batsman had switched his batting style. There you see, and since he wanted to go for it, it's not been called a wide.
Well, that was very intelligent umpiring, as you said. If you look at Usman just falling down, trying to get that ball. See the character Rohan Mustafa coming and consoling him. But yeah, sometimes you have to keep it a bit simple. That ball, if he had played it just normally with fine leg in the circle, just played the normal sweep shot or paddle shot, he could have gotten 4. So intelligent bowling by Ahmed Raza.
Yes, Razi.
Yes, intelligent bowling, and a very good over comes to an end from Ahmed Raza. Just 4 runs off it. Namibia are 54 for 1 after 7. So there you see the first 6 overs of the game, the power play overs, and they looked really good, Namibia. They had a positive intent, a positive start, barring that wicket. They've been really effective with the sweeps and the reverse sweep. So a very, very smart brand of cricket at display here from Namibia.
Very intelligent batting. So you have a look at Craig when he came in, just played some delicate cut shots and then drives as well. Once again, in this outfield, once you cross that inner circle, it's always going to run away for 4.
Yes, placement was key. They were finding the gaps at regular intervals, and that is why they've been so effective in getting these runs on board. Namibia 54 for 1. Craig is on 23 of 18. He looks good. Bard has also played really well, scoring at more than a run a ball, 27 of 20. Meanwhile, it's Sultan Ahmed, the left arm spinner, into the attack one more time. This time it's been played nicely. So spin on both ends for UAE, and that is the right call, I reckon.
Yes, and I hope that we'll get to see somebody like Rizwan CP bowl as well. When we were covering the domestic tournament, he bowled really well as a leg spinner. Sultan coming into bowl again. So with 2 left-handers bowling, it's a very similar looking bowling lineup. There has to be some variety here. Rohan Mustafa's first over going for 11 runs, so he has to step up as well.
Another good shot. This is absolutely brilliant batting. Ball going and beating the fielder to the fence. Kashif Dawood had given up already. And that's the 4 number 9 for Namibia. Very, very brilliant, very, very effective, very, very smart batting from Namibia.
Yes, they're using Sultan's pace. He's changed ends. He's coming from a different end now. But again, the result is still the same. Craig this time playing that reverse sweep and getting 4. The short third man fielder is quite square. So as soon as it passes him, it's going to go for 4 runs.
Go run. Yes.
Good comeback, very good comeback from Sultan. He's a lot quicker in the air. We've seen that over the years. He's not a regular left arm spinner. He's almost like a medium pacer who uses his fingers while bowling. So this time, lucky Sultan Ahmed. So yes, he's a very different kind of bowler. One of the very few fast spin bowlers that you would find in World T20. Likes to open the bowling, likes to bowl in the power plays. So yes, a lot is expected from the experienced Sultan Ahmed.
Go run. Yes.
The last ball is a dot ball as well, so much better over by Sultan. And yes, he's one of those bowlers that does not try to turn the ball at all. His stock delivery is the one that just goes straight, and then there's another one that comes in as what you would think of as an in-swinger from a right-hand bowler. So everybody who's trying to play him for the turn is going to get deceived. So if you look at that bowling lineup, he has gone for a few though. 3 overs, 24 runs. Kashif Dawood's been brilliant. 2 overs, 8 runs, gets that first wicket, his debut wicket. And then Zahoor Khan and Rohan Mustafa have bowled at 1 over each, but gone for 10 and 12 respectively. So they've used 5 bowlers. It'll be interesting to see if they go for a 6th bowling option or not.
Well, they have Basil who can bowl some really handy off spinners. Basil Hamid. So, oh, that is a chance. Is it? Yes. It would have been a chance there, missed by Ritya Arvind. A little quicker in the air, Ahmed. Beaten for pace. And beaten for pace was also Ritya Arvind.
Well, that's another misfield. Chirag Suri not able to collect that ball. But yes, that's a big stumping chance missed. Ritya Arvind getting hit on the shoulder. That bounce deceiving both the batsman and the wicketkeeper.
Yes, a chance gone begging, as they say.
Nice.
Meanwhile, it's a much better delivery. What we've seen so far from the Namibian batsmen is that they like to play square of the wicket. They have swept a lot. They have reverse swept a lot. So as a captain, Ahmed Raza would be wanting them to play straight because the boundaries are not that small. Again, that lap shot, that lap sweep comes into picture, and that ball has gone all the way for a 4. So that's what exactly I was talking about. A lot of shots, a lot of boundaries going in that area. He needs to plug that and make them play straight.
Yes, we've seen most of the boundaries have been behind the wicket or square of the wicket. So yes, they do have to change their plans just a little bit, but you have to give kudos to the batsmen for improvising and playing those shots. Not easy getting down on your knee without the helmet and trying to scoop somebody like Ahmed Raza who can easily bounce you.
This time they play it straight. This time they find the gap. This is another good shot from the bat of Craig. That's another boundary. Very well played there.
Well, that correction, every batsman will know that once you've paddle swept somebody, they'll try to correct it, go a little bit shorter. And that's a very good looking shot by Craig. Placed to the mid-wicket boundary for 4. So UAE is actually leaking quite a bit of runs now, even outside the power play.
This time he's played that straight to Ahmed Raza. A dot ball to end the over. Need some desperate planning and change of execution from the UAE players and the skipper. 9 overs gone. Namibia are 69 for 1.
काशी आप चले जाओ जुड़ा सीपी अंदर आना प्लीज अंदर मैं बताता हूँ थोड़ा इधर आना अंदर मारने दो बस रूटीन में सब ठीक है टेंशन नहीं.
Right, so 9 overs gone. Namibia are 69 for 1. And it is Rohan Mustafa who's been brought into the attack. Again, you see that reverse sweep. And it's gone fine. A fielding effort there from Rizwan. We'll have to check that again. Looks like he's managed to keep the ball inside the fence. But again, one more time, Abdul Rahman, that reverse sweep. So they are trying to play a lot square of the wicket. They need to plug that somehow, UAE. This time coming down the ground and nicely played. Not timed it too well, but will get a single.
Well, both the spinners for UAE, Sultan and Rohan Mustafa, are actually quite quick compared to just traditional spinners. So it's very easy to play that ramp or that scoop and get a boundary, especially with the outfield so quick.
Yes, taking runs at will. Namibia. No dot balls whatsoever, hardly any dot balls. They get the odd boundary and then rotate the strike really well, and this is what is needed in T20s. The lesser the dot balls, the more pressure you put on the opposition. Meanwhile, another good shot, good fielding effort there from Zahoor. Has saved a certain boundary. They have taken 3. Saved a run there for his team, Zahoor.
But again, square of the wicket, those shots that they're playing, this one as well, a traditional sweep shot. Nonetheless, they get 3. So 8 runs of the over so far. And a rare dot ball by Rohan Mustafa. 77 in just a 10th over. So very good start by Namibia. They'll be looking at that 180 mark now.
Oh yes, absolutely. UAE need a wicket. They need a wicket desperately. Who can get them that wicket? 10 overs gone. Namibia are 77 for 1. And while it's a drinks break on the ground, there's a change in the comm box. I have a change in my partner. It is Ahmed Khwaja who has joined me. Ahmed, welcome. Looks like a good start, a very good start for Namibia.
Thank you very much, Shoaib. Yes, Stephen Bard and Craig Williams batting absolutely beautifully here. 40 of 29 for Craig Williams. The captain Merv Erasmus listed to come in next, but this partnership has really set a platform at the halfway stage. If you're looking to double that score and get a little bit more, 170, 175 is definitely on. The spin not proving effective here for that man on screen, Ahmed Raza.
Oh yes, absolutely. And we were discussing, me and Abdul Rahman, about the shots that they have played so far, Namibia. Most of the shots that they have played are square of the wicket. You can see the sweeps and the reverse sweeps and the switch hits coming in on a consistent basis from Namibia. 2 runs taken there. So there has to be a plan coming in from UAE to plug that, to try and stop that and make them play straight. Because we haven't seen even a single aerial shot played towards the long off or the long on region.
Absolutely, their games versus spin are very organized. They're good with those paddles, those flicks. Short ball this time swung away towards square leg. And that is going all the way for 6.
Well, a loose delivery, a poor delivery coming in from Ahmed Raza. And making full use of that is Craig, who's played that absolutely right from the middle of the bat. No chance there for Sultan whatsoever. So a good looking shot, a huge 6 coming from the bat of Craig. He's quickly moved on to 48 of 31. And this is really good batting, very, very good batting. Namibia looks like a promising side, and they are the opposition in their World T20 qualifiers will be closely watching these games as well.
It's been a very impressive effort here from Craig Williams. He's moved on to 49 of just 32 deliveries. That strike rate is above 150 plus. And he's made the UAE bowlers toil here. You can see the expression on Captain Ahmed Raza's face. He looks a bit perplexed. Quick single this time. My goodness, if he had fielded that off his own bowling, there was definitely a chance for a run out. But once again, the ball slipping out of his grasp.
Yes, a fumble there, and that allows both these players to go for a single. This time he's played that down Straight to long off. Wasim is the man there, Mohammad Wasim. And that is a 50 from Craig. Well played 50 there from Craig. Absolutely brilliant. Took his time initially and then showed all the skills that he has. Played all around the ground and has put on a mark here. A great impression, a great first impression, Craig Williams.
This time trying to slice that away, but gets a dot ball to end the over. 11 overs gone. Namibia are 88 for 1.
Yes, this is a good start. They haven't lost a wicket after they lost their first wicket. And this partnership is looking really, really good for Namibia. UAE under some kind of pressure. They don't know how to take wickets now. How and who is the man to go to get those wickets? Absolutely no pressure at all on these Namibian batters. They have put on a show here.
Absolutely excellent batting effort here from Craig Williams and Stephen Bard. They've set the platform for their side. The UAE are on the back foot right now. Captain Ahmed Raza needs to make a move, and he's made just that. Zahoor Khan back into the attack, so he switched to the seam bowler. Enough of the spin. Didn't see a lot of purchase out there. Perhaps he can come in and prove to be effective. His first over did go for 10 runs, but now the field has been spread out. He'll have some relief with the boundary riders. But UAE desperately need a wicket here, Shoaib.
Oh yes, absolutely. Namibia has not given an inch in the first 11 overs of the game. Zahoor is the man who's been brought into the attack. Will be looking for a wicket. He knows how to take wickets, Zahoor. And likes to mix things up really nicely. The slower bounce especially is his stock ball. And there you go. The first ball itself is a slower bouncer. How well do we know these players?
Completely foxed Craig Williams there. That ball absolutely bowled into the pitch. And he's been batting so beautifully. Was completely flummoxed there. But 88 for 1, the platform is set.
Yes, the platform is set for Namibia. Meanwhile, waited for that slower delivery and has tonked that all the way. It's gone and past the fence. It's gone into the trees there. That's a huge 6.
He was ready for it this time. Once again bowled into the pitch. And Craig Williams said, I'll have a bit of that. And he smashed it over mid-off for half a dozen. That's a top shot.
Oh yes, absolutely. Just waited for it for a second and then played that up and over the mid-off fielder Ahmed Raza. The ball went onto the bank, so it was not a very small 6. It was a huge 6 from the bat of Craig. 56 of 35. He is looking really, really good. And Namibia are also looking very good. 94 for 1 in just 11.2. So that 170, 180 is definitely on for Namibia. This time, a much better shot along the ground. Will just get a single.
Well, plan B for the UAE seems to be coming undone as well. As we get nearer towards the noon hour, the pitch has flattened out. There was a bit of spice early on in the batting power play when Kashif Dawood produced a very good wicket, excellent catch at square leg. But after that, the Blue Eagles have dominated the contest and looking good for a big score.
Yes, again looking for that scoop shot, and then at the last moment just checked it really nicely, guiding it to third man. So sensible innings coming here from Bard. He knows Craig is playing really well and he needs to give the strike to Craig as much as he can because he is on a flow. He's on a roll right now, Craig Williams. Middling the ball pretty nicely.
Yes, been an excellent partnership between Stephen Bard and Craig Williams. Nearing 100 mark, in fact. Not too far away from that. But the expression on Zahoor Khan's face says it all. They're looking a bit flummoxed here with this counter-attack from Namibia. This time swung away towards long on, straight to the fielder. And there it is. Zahoor Khan has produced a wicket for the UAE. Well bowled.
Oh yes, this was the wicket that they were waiting for. It's the danger man, Craig Williams, who has to walk back. Again, good bowling. In the slot, was trying to go for a big hit, did not time it too well, and an easy catch taken there by the fielder. So Craig Williams, the man who scored heavily for Namibia and played a handy knock, has to walk back. 57 of 37 is what he scored, and Namibia are 96 for 2.
Absolutely superb innings here from Craig Williams. That strike rate of 154, very, very useful, especially when you lose an early wicket. And here comes the skipper. Pardon me, I'm falling all over myself in excitement.
Yes, Gerard Erasmus, the skipper of Namibia.
And it is not an easy situation to come into bat. It's the 12th over, so you need to accelerate immediately. Can't take a lot of time to get set when you have the likes of David Wiesa in your lineup, who can swing for the fences with that long handle. But that man on screen, Zahoor Khan, he was elated, producing a breakthrough for his captain Ahmed Raza. And now the UAE have a bit of an opening here.
So the skipper of Namibia is out in the middle for them and trying to go for a handy knock here. Oh, brilliant start there from Erasmus. Absolutely from the middle of the bat, and they'll get 2 for that. An overthrow will result in an extra run. Zahoor is not happy.
98 for 2 after 12 overs then. Yes, Zahoor a bit miffed that an overthrow was conceded, but you have to take a chance at this stage. If you could have produced a wicket off a direct hit, it would have been absolutely worth it. And that score predictor of 183, that'll be a tall order for UAE.
Oh yes, 183 is a very good total on this wicket, on this ground. The wicket looks really good for batting, not much turn, even bounce. And today is not a typical summer day in Dubai. The weather is getting a little better, just a little bit. A lot more conducive for cricket. And I'm sure Namibia will be feeling the heat here, but also in the same breath, they are used to this kind of playing conditions, I assume.
Yes, absolutely. It can get quite hot out there in sub-Saharan Africa as well. Not easy conditions, but they've adapted very nicely. They've looked in command of the game. After Zayn Green went down in the second over, it was a brilliant partnership between Craig Williams and Stephen Bard and Kashif Dawood. So Ahmed Raza making some moves here, bringing on his fast bowlers.
Yes, that's right. Zahoor Khan has got a wicket. The previous partnership was of 85 runs. They were closing on to that 100-run partnership. Got a wicket at the right time, Zahoor Khan for UAE. Kashif Dawood to continue. No movement in the air. Normally, he manages to get some swing, and he has the ability to bowl both ways, the outswinger and the inswinger. Very lethal. But not much movement today for Kashif Dawood. 99 for 2, 1-run short of the 100.
It would be interesting to see Stephen Bard's approach here now. Kashif Dawood has been very steady, only 9 runs conceded. And he's into his third over. That's a top effort from him on T20I debut.
Again, nice delivery. This is good bowling from Kashif Daud. Has been played straight down the ground. You need to make them play straight as much as you can. Plug that gap, and this is good field placement as well. They've got a third man in place.
Indeed, there's a third man, a cover sweeper, and that man down the ground, as well as a very square mid-wicket. A quick single taken beats the point fielder, so they'll get through nicely. So Moev Erasmus content to just build a partnership. Excellent running here. Bit of a half appeal from Vritya Arvind, but I think they've made it in time. 100 up for them, Namibia.
Yes, 100 up in just 12.2 overs. In fact, 12.3 now with that single. Nicely done there, just guiding it. Well, it looks as if Namibia has been playing in the UAE for almost 6 months now. The way they are handling themselves, the way they have approached this innings, looks like a very settled unit, Namibia.
Lofted shot down the ground, and it's going towards the mid-on long-on fielder who gets around. So Merv Erasmus has kicked into groove very nicely here. He's accelerating.
Yes, just making sure that he gets runs on every delivery. That shot was a checked shot. He knew that the midfielder, the mid-wicket fielder, was inside the circle, and all he had to do was clear that infield. He did that pretty nicely and got 2 runs for that.
Ahmed Raza making some late changes. He's pushed the third man back. He was in the circle earlier. We've seen the Namibians play that ramp shot and that reverse paddle very effectively. And the wicketkeeper Vritya Arvind, he'll be a key player for UAE here. Slower ball worked away towards square leg. They're pushing for 2. And that is brilliant running. Brilliant running here from Namibia.
Oh yes, absolutely. 100 marks, full marks for that running between the wickets, putting pressure on the fielder, Sultan Ahmed. They ran the first run hard. And when you do that, you always have a chance for a second. And they've done that very, very nicely. 106 for 2. So if they're not able to get boundaries, they are making sure that they run hard between the wickets, convert those singles into doubles. This is good cricket overall from Namibia.
Finally a dot ball there. 8 runs off the over without taking much risk. 13 overs gone. Namibia are 106 for 2.
Yes, 106 for 2 Namibia after 13. That's the scorecard for Namibia. A good knock from Craig Williams. 57 of 37 deliveries. Stephen Bard is still out there. 38 of 32. And the skipper joins him. 7 of 5. 3 extras. So the bowling has been tight. But the credit has to be given to Namibia. It's not as if UAE has bowled a lot of poor deliveries, a lot of loose deliveries. They've just batted really well.
Indeed, full credit to the Blue Eagles. They've come out prepared with a game plan. Their batsmen have looked organized. They know their strengths and weaknesses. And now, interesting bowling change here. It's the opening batter, more known for his dashing stroke play. Number 10, Mohammad Wasim.
Yes, interesting change, and I think it's a fair change to be bringing in Mohammad Wasim, who bowls his medium pace deliveries. Debuting today for UAE for the first time, of course, and starts off with a good ball straight up in the air. Is there a chance for Vritya? No, just falls short of the keeper. Good effort there, and a good start from Mohammad Wasim.
What a start that would have been for Mohammad Wasim. Spliced in the air. It was a steepler, but landed in no man's land. Vritya Arvind, the keeper, gave his best. But very, very lucky there, Stephen Bard. Look at that. Completely mistimed. Vritya Arvind kept his eye on the ball, but just out of his reach.
Yes, good ball there. Did not anticipate that he would be bowling so quick. Mohammad Wasim looks like a decent bowler. Did not expect the ball to come on to him. And that's why miscuing that shot towards that vacant square leg region. This is good bowling. He's mixed it up. First ball was on the good length. This one is a Yorker, so he knows what he is doing. has his plans and he's executing them well, pretty well.
This time smack down the ground. The long on fielder and long off will clean up. So the only thing he can't do here is pitch the ball short, because that's asking to be hit. If you bowl it within the batsman's range, if they beat that long on fielder for 6 or 4, that's well done by them. Otherwise, you're creating an opportunity.
Yes, bowling really well. Good bowling so far from Mohammad Wasim. He's given away 2 in his 3 deliveries. And he's mixing it up really nicely. That's the key. This time he just does not decide to bowl. Slipped out of his hands. But he saw that batsman coming and trying to play a scoop again, and just at the last moment pulled himself out of the bowling run-up.
Indeed, that's excellent thinking from his side. If the batsman is premeditating, there's no need for you to bowl the delivery. This time once again flipped away straight to the fine leg fielder. Mohammad Wasim has a wicket on debut. Well bowled.
Yes, this is absolutely brilliant bowling. He knew that he's going to go for a lap shot, and that's why bowled a slower delivery. Did not time it too well there, Bard. And he's found the fielder at fine leg. Good bowling, good smart cricket coming in from Mohammad Wasim. A simple catch taken by Kashif Daud. And that's wicket number 3 for Namibia. Stephen Bard walks back, 39 of 34.
Played a very responsible innings. They lost an early wicket. Zayn Green was caught in the second over at square leg, so he had to hunker down, anchor the innings, and he did that really well with Craig Williams. And quite unlucky to be caught there, to be honest. And here comes a very, very important player. A key player in the middle order, Mr. David Wiesa. Fantastic T20 cricketer, has played franchise cricket all over the world. And this is the ideal situation for him to come in and tonk some mighty blows. He, of course, represented South Africa in the 2016 World T20. And that career does not, that strike rate does not do justice to his ability. A very, very dangerous player to come in this situation. And UAE need to get him out ASAP if they are to keep Namibia to a low score.
Yes, you're right. We know how dangerous Wiesa is. He's played T20 cricket all around the world, different T20 formats. And an experienced campaigner playing for Namibia in this World Cup as well. So yes, he is a key member of the Namibian side, and you're right about UAE trying to get his wicket as soon as possible. They would want to see his back. That number 37, 27 on his jersey. That's what they want to see. Him walking back to the pavilion.
Nicely punched straight to the cover fielder. Very, very active there. That's good stuff. Good aggressive fielding there from UAE. Their tails are up.
Oh yes, the momentum has definitely shifted towards UAE a little bit, and they would feel that they have an opening here. They have a chance because 2 set players, batsmen for Namibia, are back in the hut, and they have 2 new players right there in the middle. So Mohammad Wasim has created an opportunity, got them a wicket, got them back in the game. 14 overs gone with that single. The score slowing down a little bit for Namibia. It's 109 for 3.
Well, you know what they say, Shoaib. The best way to stem the scoring is to pick up wickets. And they've done exactly that. Let's take a look at the bowling analysis for the UAE so far. Sultan Ahmed, 3 overs, none for 24. Bowled the majority of his overs in the batting power play. Kashif Daud, 1 for 16 in his 3, has been excellent on T20I debut. Zahoor Khan, disappointing, got a wicket to his name, but that economy rate of 10 RPO, he'd be very disappointed with that. Rohan Mustafa also got hammered. The captain Ahmed Raza, 3 overs, none for 24 as well. So we need another 6 overs. He has plenty of options, and he's brought on himself. A brave move by the captain.
Yes, indeed, a brave move. The medium pacers were really effective. They've managed to stem the flow of runs here for Namibia. And now it's the skipper who's brought himself in, believing that he can take a wicket here. David Wise, oh, there should have been a slip. That ball has gone in the slip cordon and will race away towards the fence. A lucky boundary there for Wiesa. A nice ball there, but unlucky, I would say, Ahmed Raza.
Well, Shoaib, to be honest, it was a bit too short, a bit too wide. And when you're a short third man in the circle, you're asking to be punished. David Wiesa swung that mighty willow of his, got an edge to it, and it ran away for 4 on this greasy outfield. Punched through extra cover this time. Good fielding there, got a hand to it, but they'll scurry through for a single.
Yes, a good save. Would have been at least a couple. Chirag Suri, the man in question at covers. Stepping down this time. Erasmus. And playing it towards long on. Checking his shot at the last moment. Sensible batting.
He seems to be a very busy batter. Likes to move his feet, likes to get to the pitch of the ball. A la Kevin Peterson, who loved to walk down and smack the ball through mid-on and mid-wicket. This time worked away into the gap. So sensible batting here from David Wiesa and Merv Erasmus.
Yes, this is really good batting there. Keeping themselves busy. And we haven't seen a big shot yet from Wiesa. Another single there for Namibia. 116 for 3. In fact, 117 with that single. A pretty expensive over coming in from Raza. 8 runs already. But he's bowled some really tight lines. Good running between the wickets again. Straight into the hands of the fielder, but still take a run. This is good cricket from Namibia. 15 overs gone. And Namibia are 118 for 3.
Right then, with that, there'll be a change in the comm box. Shoaib Ahmed will step out and Abdur Rahman will join me for the final 5 overs. So Merv Erasmus, 10 of 9. David Wiesa out there as well. Ideal platform for him to get his eyes set, get used to the playing conditions, and then go hell for leather. Abdur Rahman, you've joined me right at the stage for a very exciting finish for the Blue Eagles.
Exciting indeed. We all know how dangerous David Wiesa can be. There's another batsman, Frillink, who's very aggressive as well for Namibia. He's played some interesting knocks in the qualifiers.
Hard cut this time towards the cover sweeper, who will clean up. And you can see, oh, they're pushing for 2. Chance for a run out. Britya Arvind. Perhaps the bounce of the ball got a big on him and couldn't execute that run out. That's excellent running.
Britya's had a tough day behind the stumps. Missed a stumping. The bowling of Ahmed Raza and this one as well. It was very close. Very good throw right over the stumps. Britya was unable to gather it. But an interesting bowling change by Ahmed Raza, bringing in Wasim. And he's made an instant impact.
He certainly has. This time nicely punched down the ground. Solid shot, and mid-off was in the circle. But David Wiesa is absolutely clattering that ball, Abdur Rahman. Danger signs for UAE.
Yeah, they want to get him out the next over or 2 maximum. If he plays out the next 5 overs, that score is going to go very close to that 180 mark, if not more.
Hard cut over the top of extra cover this time from the captain of Namibia. That has screamed away for 4.
A poor delivery. The long mid-off and cover fielders are both in the circle. So that was a free shot for Merve. He's placed that very well.
Really don't understand the thinking behind that delivery. You've bowled it very short and very wide. That's basically a free hit from Mohammad Wasim. You can see why he's not a regular bowler. And now the counter-attack is on. 14 of 10 is the captain of Namibia. Down the leg side this time, given as a wide. Britya Arvind clung on to that. That could have gone absolutely anywhere. But Mohammad Wasim, he's losing his lines here.
Yeah, well, 1 over too many from Wasim. He had gotten that wicket. And I think Ahmed Raza should have gone to his premier bowler, somebody like Zahoor or Kashif Dawood. He's already conceded 7 runs in this over. 8, I beg your pardon. Still 3 more deliveries to go.
This time over mid-wicket and towards the fielder, though he's cleaned up well. Good hard throw. But once again, those big square outfields, they've scurried through for 2. Excellent running.
Yes, the running between the wickets has been really, really good for Namibia. David Wiesa and Merv running really quick. And it was Wiesa's call. The throw came to the bowler's end. Merv responding. So, again, 10 runs off the over so far. 2 more deliveries to go. And that score is moving up very quickly.
This time nicely cut away, straight to the point fielder. Bit of a misfield, but they will scurry through for a single. So they've gotten the boundary. They've rotated the strike really well. And you can see the UAE are wilting under the pressure a bit here. They need to hold their nerve.
Well, the power play and then the last 5 overs are usually where the game is settled. Namibia did have a very good power play. And they've started the last 5 overs really well.
Bowled him through the gate. They've picked up a wicket here, UAE, just when they needed it. It's that man, Mohammad Wasim, getting it right. David Wiesa has to depart.
Well, 11 runs were conceded in the over, but the captain will take that wicket and 11 runs any day. David Wiesa, big wicket there. I think the ball kept just a little bit low. Wiesa played all over it. Let's have a look at that replay. Yes, ball cut in a lot. He was not expecting that to happen. So Wasim has repaid the faith. Gotten the big wicket of David Wiesa. 129 for 4 now in Namibia. The last 4 overs to come.
Really such a massive wicket to take at this stage. This man is so destructive. And Mohammad Wasim, we felt he might have bowled 1 over too many, but he's produced a huge wicket here. And now the UAE can perhaps turn the screws. Merv Erasmus, the captain of Namibia, now the burden is on him to control this innings, to manage it right till the end. But look at that, just ducked in, perhaps beaten in the length as well, was camping on the back foot. That's an absolute beauty. Mohammad Wasim will like to have that in his locker later on.
The new batsman in is Smith. Would have liked to see Frillink come in. As I was saying, he's been playing some interesting knocks. Very aggressive batsman, and at this stage with 4 overs to go, would have been good to see as we have a look at Alishan Sharfu, who is not playing today. Dynamic 18-year-old all-rounder for the UAE.
Indeed, Johannes Smith coming in at 6. Frylink is right behind him. So I'm quite sure my co-commentator will get his wish eventually. Of course, we are live from the ICC Academy ground here in the Dubai. This is the Dafa News Summer T20 Bash. Rohan Mustafa coming into the attack. Do you agree with this bowling change of the Rahman?
Well, he does this. Rohan Mustafa, he comes into bowl the 17th and the 19th over sometimes. Gets a lot of wickets actually when he comes to bowl at this stage of the innings. But again, with the way Namibia has been batting, especially against the spinners, playing those ramp shots and those scoop, if he goes for 10-12 runs, the momentum will shift towards Namibia.
As you can see, short third man and fine leg in the circle, so that paddle shot is definitely on. Rohan Mustafa will have to be absolutely spot on with his lines. Cannot give any width. Down the leg side this time, punched nicely away to mid-wicket. They're pushing for 2, but they'll stick to 1. Good call.
Well, Rohan Mustafa is actually one of the best Yorker bowlers in the UAE. He's a spot on when he comes to bowling that Yorker, and that's what you need this stage. That strike rate 162, no wonder he's come on after David Wiesa. 18 sixes in 13 matches.
Indeed, and only age 25, so he has a very big future ahead of him. Let's see how he can perform today.
Nice one, eh?
Oh, nice Yorker there, as Abdurrahman described, right in the block hold.
And again, good field placing as well. They've brought in that short mid-wicket. make sure they keep the new batsman on strike as long as possible. Good captaincy from Ahmed Raza.
Big full toss, just bunted down the ground. So Johannes will get off the mark safely. That's of course a very good feeling. You never want to be on that dreaded knot.
Yes, but this has been a good over so far by Rohan. Just the 2 runs so far in the 3 deliveries.
The captain nicely paddled away this time. Desperate fielding effort there. That is excellent work there. Saved a certain boundary and kept them to 2. Top work.
Sultan Ahmed on the boundary. That was to his wrong side. He's a left-hander. So you had to turn around and collect that delivery and then throw it. But in the end, brilliant fielding. And that's what they need, UAE. They need to show this in the field to keep the score down. Absolutely brilliant by Sultan Ahmed. Just the 2 runs.
Once again that paddle round the corner. This time Sultan will have to work hard once again. And he does absolutely brilliantly. Another 2 though. Merv Erasmus, the captain of Namibia, knows he's going to bowl it full. So he's ready with that flip shot. Excellent execution and excellent strategy here from the Namibians.
Yes, they're using the pace. They were doing that against Sultan and Rohan Mustafa in the power play. They're doing it again now. It's very tiring, but eventually they've gotten 6 runs in this over so far. And a reverse sweep that goes to the boundary. So an expensive over, 10 runs coming off it. And Namibia is on the charge.
This is absolutely brilliant batting here from Merv Erasmus. Those 2 flip shots, push for 2. He knew he was going to bowl full once again, and this time the reverse paddle over the top of short third man. He's raced on to 26 of 16. 139 for 4, the Namibians. The Blue Eagles are soaring. 3 overs remaining. Surely that 160-165 score is on.
Yes, and if they keep batting like that, last 3 overs, if they can get 30 runs, 170 mark, very good total to defend.
Johannes Smith, career strike rate of 162. Merv Erasmus batting beautifully here. The captain taking the responsibility. I've been extremely impressed with the Namibian outfit here. They look very professional, very organized. Their batting strategies, their matchups, all look very crystal clear in their mind. Their execution has been brilliant. And honestly, I feel the UAE team has been caught off guard on the back foot. And they've been almost out of the game. Just those few wickets here and there have kept them in it. So they'll need to replicate the execution that the Namibian batters have shown here this morning.
Yes, the short play has been absolutely brilliant from Namibia. Playing behind the wicket, those ramp shots, and then any loose delivery. They've played the traditional cover drives, the lofted drives over long off and long on. Zahoor coming into bowl now.
That slower bouncer flipped away towards deep mid wicket. They'll stick to 1 this time. Good aggressive fielding. So he'll have to bowl out here. Already gone for 21 runs. But he can make amends if he bowls 2 good overs here at the death. 140 for 4. We're in the 18th over. That man on screen, Merv Erasmus, the captain of Namibia, has been very, very good. When they needed him to accelerate, he played the big shots. When he needed to hunker down, he just rotated the strike with David Wiesa. That shows the mark of a mature and complete batter. Very, very impressive. Zahoor Khan at the top of his mark. He'll be thinking, how do I get this man out? Over fine leg, but just falls short. Very, very close. Got a bit of glove on it and then scurried through for a single.
That's a good delivery there by Zahoor Khan. Usman doing well to release the ball. Quick single taken. And again that short delivery, slower short delivery, not getting any timing on it at all.
Very dangerous areas to bowl when your fine leg is in the circle. Got away with that one, Zahoor Khan. 22 off his 2.2 overs. This time swung away towards square leg. Into the gap. And is going all the way. Boundary for Namibia.
Well, one short ball too many. Again trying that same delivery that he had bowled to Merv, but this time Smith was ready for it. He's played an absolutely beautiful shot. No chance for Ali Shan at square leg to stop that ball from going over the fence. So 6 runs off the first 3 deliveries already.
Doesn't quite have the pace to bowl that length consistently. Your slower bouncer can fox them, but when he tries to bowl it at full pace, the batters enjoy that. The ball is sitting in on the pitch. 145 for 4. 2.5 overs remaining. Johannes Smith has gotten a boundary away as well. Nicely punched through extra cover this time. They're pushing for 2, but they'll just stick to 1. Good fielding by the cover sweeper.
And again, we have a look at that intelligent batting. They've gotten the boundary. The next delivery, a good one, they just take a single. So Namibia has got a very clear plan on how they want to approach the score when they're batting first. Ahmed Raza had won the toss, elected to field first. They're 146 for 4 in the 17.4 overs. Namibia will be feeling that they're better off.
Already taken 7 runs off the over. Oh, trying to paddle it, but might have struck him on the helmet there. Merv Erasmus needs to be careful with those ramp shots. He's executed a couple of them, but this time Zahoor got the better of him.
Very well bowled. Slightly slower. There was no timing behind that shot. Even on the ramp shot or the scoop shot, you need to get that timing absolutely spot on as a batsman. And Merv very lucky the ball didn't ricochet off the bat and just hit his helmet.
It's been a decent over so far, only 7 runs off it. But he needs to execute here. He has 7 deliveries remaining in his spell. Has to make each of them count. UAE want to keep this target manageable. Excellent Yorker, and he's bowled him! Zahoor Khan, you beauty!
Well, this is what he does in the death. That pinpoint Yorker. 146 for 5. Big wicket, Merv bowled by Zahoor Khan. So good over in the context of the game for UAE. They want to take that momentum back from Namibia. Have a look again. They're absolutely brilliant. No way you're getting any bat on that. On the base of leg stump. Unplayable. So good finish to the over by Zahoor Khan. Merv Erasmus 27. Faced 19 deliveries. Hit 2 boundaries. And Namibia 146 for 5 in the 18th over.
Top stuff there from Zahoor Khan. Excellent response. That's the mark of a true fast bowler, nailing those Yorkers at the death. Merv Erasmus had been fidgeting around in his crease, and he had absolutely no reply to that one, hitting the base of middle stump. Very, very good execution. And as my co-commentator Abdur Rahman has been demanding, Jan Freiling has come into bat. He's a hard hitter of the ball. That strike rate does not do him justice. And now left-hand, right-hand combination will create further problems for that man on screen, Rohan Mustafa. Let's see if he can execute. Needs to be absolutely spot on with his length. Anything that is in the slot is going to disappear.
Well, Rohan Mustafa continuing, bowling the 19th over. He went for 10 the last over that he bowled. With Smith and Frillink on strike. This is a big gamble by Ahmed Raza.
This time slammed over the top of long off. All the way for 6. Johannes Smith is unleashing and cutting loose in style.
We'll have to question why Rohan Mustafa is bowling at this stage. They still have Kashif Dawood. Sultan has an over as well. That was a brilliant shot there. Over long off. Extra cover for 6. So the first ball has gone for 6 on the 19th over. 150 has come up as well. So if they've broken through that par score you were talking about, Ahmed, 150 is already on the board. Still 11 deliveries to go.
Better length this time. Rightly nailed in the block hold. As you can see, the margin of error with Johannes Smith is oh so minuscule. This time powered down the ground once again towards long off. But it's going to bounce in front of him. Ahmed Raza gets the throw in quickly. Good fielding.
He didn't get any timing on that. Smith, 7 runs of the first 3 deliveries of the 19th over.
153 on the board already. I think Kash did spot Kashif Dawood heading into the dugout. He might be feeling a bit unwell, so that's why he's not bowling his 4th. Worrying signs for UAE. Oh, he's tried to paddle that immediately, but missed the full toss. And they'll scurry through for a single.
Well, again, trying to use the pace of Rohan Mustafa. He's a spinner, but he bowls really quickly. And he bowls full, and that's what they're targeting. So they do have their plans against the bowlers. 8 runs have come off the first 4 deliveries of this over.
Big full toss, powered down the ground towards long off. And he'll take it. Very well done by the captain of UAE, Ahmed Raza. Rohan Mustafa has the wicket of Johannes Smith.
Brilliant catch there by Ahmed Raza. You have to credit the fielder for this wicket more than the bowler. That was a full toss delivery. He could have put it anywhere, outside, off stump. And the ball was swirling away, and Ahmed Raza had to cover a lot of ground. Those big buckets of hands. Ball nestles in them. So 8 runs have come of the over so far, but Rohan Mustafa has picked up the wicket of Johan Smith. 14 runs scored, 9 deliveries faced. 154 for 6 Namibia. 1 ball to go in the 19th over.
I think all being said and done, UAE will be fairly satisfied with the way they bowled at the death. Zahoor and Rohan have done a pretty decent job. He has 1 more delivery to negotiate. They have managed to pick up 6 wickets, so the tail is out there. This man on screen, Jan Freiling, will have a lot of runs to get here. Doesn't have much time, but he has a big reputation. Rohan Mustafa around the wicket. He's surveying the leg side. Good full Yorker hit away towards deep mid wicket. Chirag Suri giving chase. Excellent pickup and fielding, but they will pick up 2. So a good over from Rohan.
Yes, very good fielding as well. He had a lot of ground to cover, Chirag. Keeps them down to 2. So 156 for 6. The last over coming up. What do you think, Ahmed? What would be the score that Namibia want to finish this innings on?
I think they definitely like another 14 runs, get above that 170 mark. And anything below that, I think UAE will just have to make a fist of it. Perhaps try to keep them to around 160, 165. You can see 15 boundaries and 3 sixes in their innings. So they've been very efficient. That's pretty much a boundary every over. Kept that consistent pressure on the UAE. And now we're in for a big run chase in the afternoon.
There were a lot of 2s and 3s as well. Some good fielding, good outfielding by Sultan, keeping them down, saving a couple of boundaries. That score could have shot up to a 165, 170 mark already. But yes, anything above 165, Namibia will fancy their chances. And UAE will want to keep sure that they keep them below that mark.
This time edged away towards that 3rd man fielder. Zahoor Khan has responded really well in his 2nd spell. Has 1 over remaining, 5 deliveries. He needs to execute here for Ahmed Raza.
I think Ahmed might have missed a trick bowling Zahoor in the power play and getting those 1 or 2 overs out of the way. If you have a look at the wickets to fall, Zahoor Khan taking the wicket of Craig Williams, crucial wicket. Then Wasim coming into bowl, getting the wicket of David Wiesa as well. Big wicket there for UAE. Zahoor Khan nailing that Yorker, magnificent delivery. The last wicket to fall was Smith, caught by Ahmed Raza, bowled Rohan Mustafa. So UAE has been chipping at that batting lineup.
This time powered down the ground, but excellent fielding of his own bowling. Zahoor Khan, absolutely magnificent.
Yes, and this is what he does really well in the death. think he likes bowling with the slightly older ball, softer the ball. When he bowls with the newer ball, the hard ball, he goes for a few runs. With the old ball, he nails that Yorker really well. It's a good over so far by Zahoor Khan. Just that one run coming off it.
4 deliveries remaining. Zahoor Khan has started out his final over really well. Once again, that Yorker, big appeal. But they're going to scurry through for a single, pushing for 2, but they'll just stick to 1. Good call there. Good keeping by Vritya as well.
Well, the umpire has given it as leg byes. Let's have a look. Maybe just the impact outside. But again, just 1 run, and Zahoor Khan and the UAE team will take that any day in the last over.
Absolutely, this over has been absolute gold dust for Ahmed Raza here. Zahoor Khan has been hitting that block hole Yorker length really well. Ruben Trumpelman, he's a big unit. If he gets one even near the middle of the blade, it's going to fly. But can Zahoor outsmart him? That is the real question. 2 for 28. He's had a pretty decent day. Slower delivery, swung away towards mid-wicket this time. And he's taken it. That's an excellent catch. Zahoor has a 3-for.
Well, again, good fielding there by Rohan Mustafa. He's covered a lot of ground. That short ball, that slower, shorter delivery, gets no timing on it, Ruben. And again, a big wicket there. In the context of the game, the fact that it's a dot ball is more important. Short delivery. Just sits up. You can't do anything about it. You know it's coming. You have no idea where to place it. This time he's placed it right in the hands of Rohan Mustafa.
The fielding effort by the UAE has been top-notch. Ruben Trumpelman couldn't get going. 1 off 2. Caught at deep mid-wicket. And that's a good delivery to bowl to the tail-enders. When you bowl it short, they can't resist. And he had to pay the ultimate price.
Yeah, that's the kind of delivery. Not a lot of places you can position it. You can either go across the line and play it towards the mid-wicket square-leg region, which he had done and failed. You can't go over third man or over square or over the point fielder. Piquia France coming into bat now.
Well, in his 4th game, he only has 1-6 to his name. If he can tonk one today, his captain Merv Erasmus will be very pleased with him. But it's tough going for the lower order batters in white ball cricket. He needs to get Jan Freiling on strike. The UAE have been excellent in the death overs. Ahmed Raza will be very pleased with the effort. The fielding has been hard. The catching has been efficient. And they've really hit that block hole length very well. Zahoor Khan to continue. 3 wickets to his name. Piquia France on strike. Tries to paddle it and he's bowled him. Zahoor Khan. You miss, I hit. Beautiful bowling.
Well, that's absolutely brilliant. Death bowling. That's the definition of death bowling. Again, coming around the wicket to the left-hander, right at the base of the stumps. There's not a lot you can do about that. Big wicket there. An absolutely brilliant last over by Zahoor Khan. He's on a hat-trick with the last ball coming up. And Namibia is losing the plot just a little bit. 158 for 8.
It's been a superb effort in the death overs by Rohan Mustafa and that man Zahoor Khan. 4 wickets to his name. You have to remember, in his first 2 overs he had gone for 20 runs. And since then he's bounced back with 4 wickets. My goodness, that is absolutely brilliant. And that will give a lot of confidence to the UAE national team.
Yes, we all talk about momentum and taking momentum back into the dugout. Right now the momentum is definitely with the UAE. New batsman Carl Birkenstock. Well, he has the unenvious task of keeping the hat-trick delivery out and also ensuring that Zahoor doesn't get a fifer. So a lot at stake at this delivery.
What a start to the Dafa News Summer T20 Bash. 158 for 8. Zahoor Khan 4 for 28 on a hat-trick. It's number 9-10 in Jack at the crease. Carl Birkenstock, he'll be feeling the heat. Can this man on screen produce a magical moment here at the ICC Academy in Dubai? There's a whole nation cheering for you. Come on, Zahoor. You can do it. On a hat-trick. Carl Birkenstock, another left-hand batter, round the wicket. Zahoor Khan, hat-trick ball. Foolish delivery, and it's punched down the ground. It was in the slot, it was in the block hole. But Birkenstock does really well. They pick up a single, and Namibia will conclude their 20 overs at 159 for 8. Game on.
Well, really good finish by UAE. They fought hard after that strong start from Namibia. The last 5 overs and that last momentum staying with the UAE. Zahoor Khan, absolutely brilliant. 3 wickets in his last 2 overs, and he was almost on a hat-trick, getting a 5-fer as well. So we have a look at the UAE team now walking out. They'll be the happier of the two lots, I feel, especially with what has happened in the last 3 overs.
We have to remember that the UAE won the toss, elected to bowl first. We've seen that chasing has been the trend in T20I cricket these days. And Ahmed Raza on the right of your screen talking to his charges. You've done well, men. We were under pressure, but you held your nerve, you fielded well, you took wickets. And now that target on screen of 160, very, very capable batsmen in their lineup. Mohammad Uswan, Basil Hamid, Rizwan CP, Mohammad Wasim, Vritya Arvind. It's a star-studded side. Definitely very capable of hunting down this target of 160. The game is well and truly on.
Yes, they're going with a very, very strong, very long batting lineup with Ahmed Raza coming in at 8. They bat very deep, the UAE. So they'll fancy their chances in taking this total down. They could have easily been chasing 170, 175. Have a look at the wickets.
Taking a look at the highlights of the first innings, then Kashif Dawood with the new ball on T20I debut. This one swung away towards square leg, straight down the throat of Rizwan CP, and after that it was the Namibian batters who put a lot of pressure on the UAE bowling. Those reverse paddles, those reverse sweeps, they brought them out very efficiently against Sultan Ahmed, consistently peppering that short third man boundary. Kashif Dawood had a bit of a struggle. That was nicely pulled away towards square leg for 4. There was a very long partnership here between Stephen Bard and Craig Williams. Craig Williams getting a 50. Very excellent innings. That was a beautiful punch down the ground. That off drive executed beautifully. Rohan Mustafa was brought in, but he was also hammered. Craig Williams, number 46 for Namibia, picking the gaps at will. Ahmed Raza, the captain, was also taken to task. Nice paddle sweep put away, fine leg in the circle. And then towards mid-wicket. So he was creating problems against the spinners. And this one was a hit-me delivery that he rightly dispatched all the way for half a dozen. Zahoor Khan came in for some punishment as well. This was a poor delivery, back of a length, smacked for 6. But this time he produced a wicket of Craig Williams. That was a huge moment in the game. Mohammad Wasim came in and gave 2 very, very important overs to his captain. Producing the wicket here. Good catch taken at short fine. Ahmed Raza came in. David Wiesa edged him away for 4. The big unit, but look at this delivery from Zahoor Khan. Absolute beauty. Nailed it, hitting the base of middle stump. Rohan Mustafa also got a wicket of Johannes Smith. Well caught at long off by the captain Ahmed Raza. So in the end, a target of 160 Abdur Rahman. I feel it's anybody's game to win here.
Yeah, it's right in the balance, 160s. Both the teams would think they have a chance now. So we have a look at the batting card. Zain Green, the first wicket to fall to the debutant Kashif, and then Stephen Bard, Craig Williams put a brilliant partnership together. Merv Erasmus, their captain, batted well for 27. David Wiesa, the big wicket for Mohammad Wasim on debut, 10 runs he scored. Johan Smith was looking good at 14, and then the last 4 wickets falling very quickly. Jan Frelling scoring just 2 runs, and Ruben Trimpelman 1. Picky France and Carl Birkenstock were not out. Just the 7 extras, so very disciplined bowling by the UAE lineup. 159 for 8. Anyone's game at this stage.
Taking a look at the bowling analysis then. Sultan Ahmed bowling in the power play, none for 24 in his 3. Kashif Dawood did not complete his spell, 1 for 16. Zahoor Khan, the outstanding performer, 4 for 29. He was absolutely unplayable at the death. Rohan Mustafa was hammered a little bit, 1 for 39 in his quota. The captain Ahmed Raza, steady as always, none for 33. And Mohammad Wasim, a 2 for 13 in his 2 overs. And you can see that fall of wickets after that big stand for the 2nd and 3rd wicket. It was a steady flurry for the UAE bowling side, and they inflicted that pressure on the Blue Eagles.
It's Zahoor Khan taking those 3 wickets in the last 2 overs, and 1 wicket for Rohan Mustafa as well.
So there he is, 160 the target for UAE. We'll take a short break. We'll be back in about 10 minutes for the UAE run chase. Stay tuned at the Dafa News Summer T20 Bash. Right then, thank you very much. Back for the second innings at the Dafa News Summer T20 Bash 2021. The UAE chasing 160 and they've got their score off the mark with a wide. Namibia posted 159 for 8 in their first innings. The UAE of course elected to win the toss and bowl first, so the pressure is on them. Mohammad Wasim, fantastic record he has in T20 cricket. Look at that career strike rate of 140.9. He is the kingpin of the UAE batting order. Even has a centuries to his name in this format. So a lot of onus on him. And opening with him is Chirag Suri. Very fine batter in his own right. Down the leg side this time. Off the pad. But they won't rotate the strike. So immediately some swing on offer for the Namibian bowlers. It's Ruben Trenkelman taking the new ball for the Namibians. Big unit swings the ball prodigiously. And this is his T20I debut, so best of luck to you, young man. Big career ahead of you, only age 23. This time an absolute corker. Beats the outside edge of Mohammad Wasim. He was shaping up for that in-swinger, but the ball just held its line and beat him all ends up. A cracking delivery. And joining me in the comm box, enjoying this fantastic exhibition of swing bowling is Shoaib Ahmed. Welcome, Shoaib.
Thank you, Ahmed. Yes, what a great start this is from Namibia. And from Ruben. Always pleasing to the eye, isn't it? The left arm's fast bowler steaming in and getting some pace and bounce off the wicket. And also some swing in the air, as you rightly mentioned, Ahmed.
He's really hitting that nagging length really well. Mohammad Wasim getting in a bit of trouble, fishing at that ball. Very lucky not to just edge it back to the keeper. And what I really like here from the Namibians, they have a slip in place. We didn't see that from Ahmed Raza, but they're attacking with their main strike bowler, Ruben Trenkelman.
Yes, this is good bowling, good start from Ruben Trenkelman. Again, generating some extra bounce off the wicket. This is good bowling. Good start from Ruben. And Wasim, who's playing his first T20 international for UAE, will have to answer some tough questions asked by Ruben in the form of this exquisite bowling. Looks really, really good, Ruben.
This time down the leg side, stifled appeal, perhaps trying to outfox the umpire. And I think it did flick perhaps the thigh pad. Mohammad Wasim looks a bit perplexed. He was looking for the extras, but he's still stuck on 0, Shoaib.
Yes, you're right. That ball moving into the right-hander is always very difficult. We've seen that over the years. The left-arm fast bowlers have been really, really impactful with that ball moving into the right-hander. And that is exactly what is happening here. Ruben is right on the money from ball number 1.
Excellent first over completed by Ruben Trenkelman. 1 for no loss are the UAE. Only an extra to their name. And alongside Mohammad Wasim is Chirag Suri, a very, very talented batter. Very elegant player. He believes in himself. He believes in his ability. And this is a huge platform for him. As you can see, the picturesque surroundings of the ICC Academy here in Dubai Sports City. The hustle and bustle of Dubai never ends. We have the IPL, the World T20, and of course the Dafa News Summer T20 going on as well. Truckload of cricket in the Middle East.
That's right, especially in the UAE. Of course, there is a lot of cricket happening in Oman as well. But you're right about UAE and the busy schedule that we have right now. One of the busiest we've ever seen. And why not? The World T20 is happening right here in the UAE for the very first time. And all these teams are vying for a place. Namibia looks really good.
Nicely guided away to third man. So Chirag Suri getting off the mark without any issues. David Wiesa taking the new ball for Namibia from the other end. He's played all over the world. He's played for Sussex. He's played for Lahore Qalandars. He's played in the Caribbean Premier League as well. The Big Bash, you name it. He's been there. Extremely handy bowler. Has a brilliant change of pace. That slower ball of his is very hard to pick. And he's a hot property wherever there's franchise cricket around the globe. Squared him up this time. Excellent fielding at backward point. That's more like it. But he's given away overthrows. Can you believe it? Just when we were praising him, the commentator's curse has struck.
Oh yes, absolutely. A miss, an overthrow there, and that has resulted in a single. We'll take that. Wasim is on 1 of 7. He's just off the mark.
Well, I remember a very funny occasion when Alistair Cook actually got a test 100 of overthrows against Pakistan. Chirag Suri looking very solid, looking very confident. It's only a chase of 160, so they can afford to take their time, keep their wickets intact in the batting power play. They have a lot of batting. Rizwan CP, Basil Hamid, Muhammad Usman, to name a few. Ritya Arvind as well, the young champion. He'll probably coming in at number 3, very likely. So they can easily hunt this down if they keep their wickets intact. Short ball this time. Excellent bouncer from David Wiesa, but given as a wide.
Oh yes, that was too high. A good ball. A good skill to have to be able to bowl bouncers. But that was really way too high and has been called wide, rightly so. And that is David Wiesa, who's also played for RCB in the IPL. So yes, a lot of T20 cricket. An experienced campaigner.
Absolutely, a fast bowling all-rounder is absolute gold dust in franchise cricket. And he's one of the very, very good ones. Was part of the South African Proteas unit in the 2016 World T20 that was held in India. He has a lot of experience at T20I level and at franchise cricket level. So UAE need to be on their guards, need to respect his ability and talent. Pulled away this time off the front foot towards mid-wicket. They'll scurry through for a single. Not in control of that shot, but Chirag will take it for now.
Yes, he won't mind that. As long as UAE are getting runs, they wouldn't mind overthrows, misfields. And they need to have a good start. It's a modest total. It's not a great total. 158.
This time he's hit it. The umpire is not convinced though. The Namibian appeal, Muhammad Wasim gesturing, it hit my elbow, hit my forearm. So trying to outfox the umpire there, the Namibians. But it's not going to work. Good decision.
Oh yes, the umpires, oh well. Immediately as soon as it hit Muhammad Wasim, he signalled showing that it had hit the elbow.
It's been a slow start for the UAE. Only 5 runs off the first 2 overs. Of course, we do have to remember that the national team has been playing together after a fair while now. They've been part of training camps and all that. ECB training camps. But together as a unit in a competitive fixture, it's been some time since they played as one. So it will take some time for them to hit their groove. But there's a lot of talent in this UAE side, Shoaib Ahmed.
Oh yes, absolutely. No doubt about that. And you're right, UAE hasn't played a lot of international cricket in the recent months. The last international outing was in January this year against Ireland, where they played 3 T20 internationals. But after that, there has been a dearth of international cricket for UAE. So this is good news for UAE to be able to play against some top teams.
Last competition here for the UAE national team. And the dream is to reach the next World T20 and of course the ODI World Cup in 2023. You have to set big targets for big dreams. This time lovely slice shot from Chirag Suri. Beats the backward point fielder and goes all the way for 4.
Oh yes, what a great shot that was. Absolute class coming in from Chirag Suri, waiting for the ball and then playing it in the gap, beating the fielder at point. That will give him a lot of confidence. When you middle such deliveries, it definitely sets the tone for the remainder of the innings. This is good batting from Chirag. UAE get their first boundary. 9 runs on the board for UAE.
He's such an elegant player. Plays with a lot of touch, a lot of style. Doesn't try to power the ball, just slicing that ball there. And it screams away for 4. That outfield is absolutely electric. This time safely shouldering arms. A good pacey delivery from Trumpelman. And he strides down the ground, gives a bit of a stare to Chirag.
Oh yes, no bowler would like the batsman to hit him for runs. And then when you come back in the way he has, you definitely get the bragging rights. He's done that on that occasion. Just a stare and let the eyes do the talking, as they say.
Absolutely. There are two schools of thought when you're a fast bowler. This time pulled away. Lovely shot there. Square leg is giving a hard chase and he will clean up. But they'll pick up an easy 2. Nice shot executed there by Chirag Suri. As I was mentioning, there are two schools of thought when it comes to aggressive fast bowling. There's the Australian style where you sledge the batter, you get in his head. Or there's the West Indian, the Caribbean style. You just give him a stare right into his soul.
Oh yes, and then there's a third school as well, which does not have a lot of students in that school. It's the Malinga school of fast bowling, where you bowl and you smile.
This time quick single within the circle. Very good call. Excellent communication by Mohammad Wasim and Chirag Suri.
That's right, these players have played a lot of cricket in the domestic circuit, alongside each other, against each other. So they know their ins and outs, the strengths and weaknesses. The target of 160 is what it is for UAE to chase down in the allotted 20 overs. And for that, they need a good start. Meanwhile, Namibia will be looking early inroads, some early wickets.
This time Mohammad Wasim with a premeditated pull shot. That was a quick delivery once again. Dot ball to end the over. 3 overs gone. UAE 12 for no loss. He's not looked very comfortable out there. The extra pace of Ruben Trumpelman has troubled him. He bowls an aggressive line. So just needs to respect the new ball bowling here of Namibia. There you can see the pavilion at the ICC Academy. World-class facilities for cricket. We've had IPL sides training here on a daily basis, and now we have some T20I action taking place as well. Namibia taking on the UAE. There you can see Rizwan CP, Rithya, Arvind, Muhammad Usman, Rohan Mustafa, Kashif Dawood can bat as well. Ahmed Raza can hit some big sixes when required. Even Sultan Ahmed is quite useful with the bat. And Basil Hamid as well. A lot of batting in this UAE side, Shoaib.
Oh yes, absolutely, no doubt about that. UAE bat deep, and I think they've come out with a plan with an intent to have a heavy batting lineup. The bowlers have done the job for UAE. It's the batters now.
Oh, Johannes Smith into the attack. Oh, a bit of football skills there. That could have been close. Chirag Suri needed to be switched on there. So immediately David Wiesa has been pulled from the attack and Johannes Smith brought in, getting some extra bounce.
Yes, that's right. A good ball there from Smith. Starts off really well, JJ Smith.
Excellent economy rate of 6.2. He's just 25 years old. We've already seen he can pack a punch with the willow. And he bowled some left arm medium pace as well. So a very good prospect. And that's a good line and length here. Not giving Chirag any room at all.
Yes, that was a good ball. Slower delivery. Change of pace from Smith. And Chirag, who's on 9 of 11. Checking the shot at the last moment, making sure it meets the middle of the bat.
Ringfield on the offside. The third man is quite square. So he can glide the ball down if he so chooses. This time tries that paddle. Big appeal. But oh my goodness, that was very close. Didn't get any bat on it, thankfully.
Yes, again a premeditated shot from Chirag Suri. Wanted to scoop that, play the lap shot, missing it completely. Lucky not getting an edge on that occasion, Chirag Suri. There was an appeal there, but has been turned down, and rightly so.
The strategy was not too bad. Fine leg was in the circle. So if he had executed that shot, there was a certain boundary to be had. But Smith is not the quickest bowler. This time tucked away towards square leg, and they'll just take a single. That's more like it. Play with a straight bat. Play to the merit of the ball.
Yes, a much better shot there from Chirag. Textbook cricket. Just dabs it and takes a single. They need a few boundaries here, UAE. They need to get to a good start, especially in the first 6 overs. The power play overs are vital. And it is imperative that these players from UAE try to capitalize on the power play restrictions on the field. As you can see, there's a change in the field now. So the third man comes in, and they have 2 fielders on the onside, a mid-wicket and a deep square leg.
Interesting field placing here, perhaps trying to double bluff Mohammad Wasim. I think he just might pitch this ball up. Indeed he does. Nicely flicked away towards mid-wicket. Mohammad Wasim will take that single quite happily.
Yes, a single on the offer, taken easily by Wasim. Wasim, who's also played in the Abu Dhabi T10, was a part of the winning team, Northern Warriors. So he has some experience behind him coming into this game, playing his first T20 international, Mohammad Wasim.
This time beats the outside edge, flirting at that one, Chirag Suri. An excellent over from Johannes Smith. Only 2 runs off it. 4 overs gone. UAE are 14 for no loss.
Yes, good bowling from Namibia and the Namibian bowlers. Let's talk a little bit about the opening pair of UAE here, Chirag and Wasim. While they still have Ritya Arvind in their ranks, would you have done anything different? Would you have wanted Ritya to bat up the order and maybe send Chirag at number 3? Do you think that's a good option?
That's a very good question, Shoaib. I think Chirag and Ritya both are very fine batters. Can easily play at 3 or open the innings. And I think they're really spoilt for choice. It's really who's in the best nick. And the problem is that both Chirag and Ritya did not play the D50. This time David Wiesa has switched ends. Quick single taken. And they'll pick it up. Good running, good communication. So they're both a bit out of nick, out of practice. So perhaps that is weighing them down right now.
Yes, a valid point there. Chirag Suri and Ritya did miss the D50, the Emirates D50 tournament. But still, if you had to choose, I would personally feel, and this is my humble opinion, that Ritya is a lot more effective in the first 6 overs with the power play in place. Meanwhile, a good shot there will get a single, Chirag Suri. The score moves on to 15, which is not a decent start for UAE. We'll have to up the ante.
Indeed. The hustle and bustle of Dubai. That's the Mohammed bin Zayed road behind us. Always chock-a-block with traffic. And if you want to stop by for some high-quality cricket, come over to the ICC Academy. We'll be glad to have you. Of course, you do have to follow all the COVID protocols. Swung away across the line. My goodness. That ball could have gone absolutely anywhere, and he's very lucky not to get cleaned up, Mohammad Wasim.
Yes, Wasim there trying to break the shackles. Trying to go for a flashy hit on the onside. Missing it completely, and lucky the ball was way close to that off stump. There you see again, just on the top of off. Needs to calm his nerves down. Play on the merit of the ball.
This time edged and past the keeper, and is going to scurry away for 4. Streaky, but he'll take it.
Oh yes, a good shot there. Waited for it. Played it late. Of course, it got the edge of the bat, but this is a much better shot compared to what he was trying to play on the previous delivery. A little hesitant, but will not mind that. There you see, just a late swivel of the bat, slicing it and getting 4.
And I do have to question the tactics here from the Namibians. Why haven't you got a slip in place? You haven't leaked a lot of runs. David Wiesa is always challenging that outside edge. A slip would have snaffled that quite easily. This time pulled away off the front foot, but the square leg, Jan Freiling does really, really well. Keeps it to a single.
Yes, that's good cricket overall. Good ball from David. Played it towards the square leg fielder. And will get a single. So good looking shot there from Wasim. Finally from the meat of the bat. Last ball of the over. Needs to go for a boundary here. For a big shot. Chirag Suri. Will he do that?
Oh, this is in the air. And straight to mid-off. Chirag Suri trying to challenge that fielder. Trying to get it over the top. That man David Wiesa has struck. UAE 21 for 1.
Oh yes, going for that big hit on the last ball of the 5th over. And not timing it too well. Some extra bounce there from Wiesa. And that ball has gone straight into the hands of the mid-off fielder. Takes in simple catch, easy as it gets. And Chirag Suri walks back, 11 of 16. 5 overs gone, UAE are 21 for 1. And at the end of the 5th over, we have a change in the comm box. Ahmed Khwaja has been replaced, and I have now the esteemed company of Abdul Rahman Tariq.
Thank you, Shoaib. Timely wicket there for Namibia. UAE has got off to a very indifferent start. 21 in 5 overs, chasing 160. That required run rate that started off at 8 is now at 9.2.
Yes, that's right. The score is not looking very promising, but you have Mohammad Wasim, and we know once he sets in, he can actually play a big innings. Another good delivery there, outside off, angling across the right-handed batsman, Mohammad Wasim. Wanted to slash that, missing it yet again. Bowlers have been on the money for Namibia. Have kept it tight.
Yes, and Wasim is looking a bit indifferent. Again on the pads. No run there. So the bowlers for Namibia have been spot on. But as I was saying, Wasim, even in the D50 tournament trip that you and I covered, he's not looking his natural self. He's not playing his shots, those flicks, those mid-wicket slogs that he plays, especially on the new ball. Very circumspect. Wasim, 8 of 16 deliveries.
Yes, a slower delivery this time. You're right, he's not at his absolute best. In the D50, he got a good innings, just one innings where he scored a 50-odd runs. But barring that, he's been pretty ordinary. But right now, today, it's a big game for him. All that has happened in the past. It's a fresh day today. And he needs to perform and do well for UAE in his debut game. He comes with a lot of good things said about him. A promising player, Mohammad Wasim.
Well, I'm sure these are just debut nerves. Once he gets settled in and understands how the wicket is playing, he'll play a lot more fluently. Rizwan, CP at 3. We were talking about the batting order, and maybe had Viritya opened the innings with Chirag Suri coming in at 3, but we see here UAE has a different plan. Chirag was looking good, got a couple of boundaries away, Again, the wicket isn't as easy as we think, especially if the ball is pitched a little bit short. Just sits up a little bit.
Yes, there is some extra bounce. Meanwhile, going for a single, rightly sent back by Rizwan. In fact, by Mohammad Wasim, who's on the non-striking end. Rizwan wanted to go for it. So Namibia have managed to keep things really tight in the first 6 overs at least. This over, just 1 run from Smith. Good bowling performance overall from Namibia.
Yes, and that required run rate, believe it or not, is very close to 10 runs an over already. It's a very strong power play for Namibia. Good looking shot there, but just a single. So 23 runs in the power play, Shoaib, for the loss of 1 wicket for UAE. A lot of ground to cover.
Yes, that's right. The first 6 overs definitely belong to Namibia. The way they've bowled, they've managed to get a wicket as well, that of Chirag Suri. And UAE have not been able to get a momentum going in their favour. They've got a couple of boundaries in that first 6 overs. But barring that, Namibia has been in complete control of the innings. They know what they're doing. And they've managed to keep pressure on UAE. The scorecard, Mohammad Wasim is not out on 9 of 18. Very unlike Mohammad Wasim. Chirag Suri also scoring 11 of 16. So they've taken their time out in the middle. Now it is important that Mohammad Wasim stays there till the end. Rizwan is the new man in. Scored just a single in 2 deliveries.
And we were saying there's a lot of batting still to come. Vritya, Osman, Rohan, Mustafa, Kashif Dawood is a very good batsman as well. Basil Hamid, Ahmed Raza can tonk a few. So there's a lot of batting to come and a lot of pressure on the existing batting and batsmen as well. Rizwan and Wasim are also playing for their slots in this batting lineup.
Yes, you're right. UAE have a lot of batting and there is some internal healthy competition to get into the top playing 11. And that's a good sign for UAE cricket. Namibia have been on the money. Credit to them. They started off really well when they were batting. And then in the bowling as well, in the first 6 overs, they've been absolutely clinical.
Well, with the likes of Ali Shan Sharfu, Muhammad Bhuta outside in the dugout, as you said, there's a lot of competition for those batting slots. You bowl a call. The UAE batsman would prefer his bowling wide outside off stump, and Rizwan is off with the boundary. Compared to the left arm fast bowlers, he seems to be a little bit slower in pace. And I think this is where the UAE batting lineup now has to take over and start scoring some aggressive runs. They need to go at 10 runs and over.
That's right, they need to target certain bowlers. Come out with a plan. This was a good shot, flashy shot, beating the fielder at point, and once that ball cleared him, it was always going to be 4 runs. Another good looking shot from Rizwan, this time on the pads. Nicely flicked, good batting. He looks good, looks compact, looks confident, so that is good news for UAE. But these two need to build a partnership and score at least 8 runs and over from here on, if not 10, so that they're still in the hunt in chasing that total down of 160. Birkenstock, Carl Birkenstock, 7 of 4.
Well, again, wide outside off stump. Wasim is missing out. He put these deliveries away for boundaries in his sleep. Just that little bit of touch that he's missing, out of form slightly. But Rizwan CP, he's going to play a key role in this run chase. He's a very intelligent batsman. Got a boundary and then took a single, got off the mark.
This time stepping down and played that in the gap. Has he? Yes, he has. Bisecting those 2 fielders and he gets another 4. This is good batting. Some intent, some positive intent coming in from Mohammad Wasim, and we know how dangerous he can be once he gets going.
Well, this is one of his get out of jail shots. That's what he does when he's in a little bit of pressure. Again, he didn't time it that well, but got the placement right. So an expensive over by Carl Birkenstock, 11 runs coming off it. And UAE just motoring a little bit, getting that momentum that they need to chase this total of 160 down.
Yes, some momentum finally for UAE in the 7th over of the game. An expensive over in the context of the game from Carl Birkenstock. Wasim is on 14 of 21. Finally some runs for him in the form of boundaries. One from Rizwan and the other one from Wasim in that over. We are bringing you live pictures from the ICC Academy.
Oh, we have a double bowling change. Bernard, the new bowler, left arm spinner.
Yes, it's Bernard Scholz, the left arm spinner for Namibia.
Good start, Bernie.
5.45 economy rate. Doesn't go for a lot of runs in the air, but safely down to the long on fielder. So Rizwan gets 1 run. Those are really impressive stats by Scholz. Just the 5.45 economy rate. He's taken 26 wickets in the 14 matches that he's bowled in. So clearly the strike spinner for the Namibian bowlers. Again, quicker ball coming into Mohammad Wasim. Plays it down to mid-wicket for 1.
Yes, 21 years old, Bernard Scholz.
Nice burn.
A young, talented left-arm spinner. Bats right-handed though. Has played 8 ODIs and 17 T20 internationals. So that's some experience there for the young Scholz. And he's looked good in the first 4 deliveries. He's bowling at the right pace that is needed on a wicket like that. A little quicker in the air. And also has been able to get some turn off the wicket. Just a little bit, but yes.
Yeah, and unlike Sultan and Rohan, who are bowling a bit too quick and getting played behind the wicket-keeper, as we saw, Rizwan tried to guide it down to third man but just got a single. He's not very, very quick, which is intelligent bowling for a spinner. Inside out, in the air. Just goes to the deep cover fielder for 1. So good solid start by Bernard Scholz. 5 runs coming off his first over. UAE motors along 39 for 1 in 8.
Yes, a good over again in the context of the game from Namibia. They wouldn't mind those singles. Just 5 runs off that Bernard over. 8 overs gone. 39 for 1 is the score. 12 more overs in this innings. And 121 runs needed. So more than 10 runs and over now needed for UAE. They need to keep targeting certain bowlers and try to get some runs. 1 odd boundary in every over is a must right now.
Well, I think again the start from the UAE openers leaving a lot of work to do for the lower order now. As the new bowler Jan Frilling comes into bowl. Left arm medium pace. Again wide outside off stump. Plays it down to third man Rizwan. Rizwan looking really good with the bat. But when the start, your required run rate is 8. What you don't want happening is that it goes to 10, 11 runs and over even before you've crossed the 10 over mark. So very slow start by the UAE batsmen, but they know they can cover up. They have a lot of firepower.
That's right, but they don't want to keep it till the end. They want to make sure that in the last 5-6 overs, even if it's 10 and over, then they would still fancy a chance. And for that, they need to continue scoring in the middle overs, which is always a little bit challenging, especially with the spinners coming in.
But yeah, sure. If you had mentioned opening the batting with Vritya, I think I would have agreed with that. Opening the batting with Vritya and Wasim and getting Chirag in at 1 down. Jan comes at the bowl again. In the air and he's gone. Short fine leg. And the ball goes straight to him. So Rizwan was looking to play aggressive shots. Unfortunately has to lose his wicket and UAE is in a lot of trouble now. 41 for 2 in 8.3.
Oh yes, a wicket taken right at the right time. Rizwan was found in a mix and a poor shot there. Not timing it. Has to walk back. 11 of 10 and UAE in some trouble right now. 41 for 2 with that wicket. Namibia have been in complete control. They look really good. And well set for the big World T20 qualifiers. They look like a side to reckon with.
Yeah, they look like a very balanced side. Obviously, somebody like David Wiesa coming in with all his international experience will definitely help. Not just from a game perspective, but also from a teaching perspective for the players. New batsman coming in, Mohammad Usman. We'll have to see after his hand injury if he's still comfortable with the bat in hand. Have a look again. We saw Mohammad Wasim pointing to Usman that Rizwan, while playing that shot, sort of fell over. And that's why I couldn't get any placement or any height on that shot. Left-hander coming in, Mohammad Usman, most experienced batsman. Some would say the best batsman in this UAE batting lineup. Scored a brilliant 100 along with Rizwan CP against Ireland in 50-over game. But now almost 11 runs and over required. A lot of pressure coming in the UAE.
Yes, that's right. This is a pressure situation. And when there is a pressure situation, you need to send your best people out there to do the job for you. And Mohammad Usman is one of them. Definitely has been in the UAE team for a long, long time. And he is one of the key players to look out for when you are playing against UAE. He can take the game away from you. Has a cool and calm head on his shoulders. And there you see the two cool and calm men in the comm box.
Well, we're trying to be cool and calm. That's a fact. Good running between the wickets. 2 runs taken. Ball played down to the point fielder. But yes, if you are imagining, we are sitting outside. The weather is not bad at all.
That's
Unfortunately, you guys cannot come and see the game from the stadium, but you can see it from the comfort of your living rooms with the air conditioning on.
Yes, you can enjoy the game right from your living room. And we are right there in your living room through the television sets, bringing you these live scenes from the ICC Academy. Good over there from Jan. A wicket in that over and just 4 runs. That's the last ball of the over. Just beating the outside edge of the bat. Not a very quick bowler, but very disciplined with his line and length. And this is something that is needed in the T20 format.
Well, Namibia has a very good set of left-arm fast bowlers or medium pacers. Started off with 2. Then Jan is coming in and filling in as well after the power play. So very well balanced bowling attack. And with Bernard Schultz, the left-arm spinner, a lot of variety as well. David Wiesa, right arm outswing bowler, medium pacer. Again in the stumps this time, no run. A lot of pressure now on Wasim. He's faced 25 deliveries, scored just 17 runs. Very unnatural innings from him. He'll have to cut loose very quickly.
That's a poor delivery, short delivery, played equally well. Is it in the gap? Good fielding effort, absolutely brilliant effort in the field there from the fielder, saving a certain boundary and putting more pressure on Wasim because he is desperately looking for a 4 here, for a boundary, not giving him too easily. This is good cricket overall.
Well, that's absolutely brilliant in the outfield. Have a look at that. Ball was racing away. Played down to short third man. We're back live. And the fielder giving a relay back to the long on fielder coming in and saving 2 runs. Brilliant fielding. Namibia, as you were saying, looked like a very good unit. You wouldn't be surprised if they caused an upset or two if they qualified for the World Cup, Shoaib.
That's right, absolutely. The batting looked really good. The bowling has been exceptional. And now the fielding as well. They are right on the money. Not giving an inch. Namibia. If you are watching this game, watch out for this team in the World T20. They are looking like a well-composed setup. And like I said in the previous innings as well, they look. It looks as if they are already well aware of the conditions here, of the pitch, of how the conditions play in the UAE, and they have been right on the money, as I said. Good stuff coming in from Namibia.
It was down the leg side, played to short fine leg. Usman takes a single. These singles won't hurt Namibia. We're almost at the end of the 10 over mark and UAE is not even crossed 50. Short ball played down to the cover fielder. It's running away. Brilliant shot that. Was looking might go for just a couple of runs. You look at the UAE camp. They applaud that boundary, much needed boundary. 50 comes up in 9.5. Again, very slow. Namibia had crossed the 50 runs in the power play mark, Shoaib. And that had set up the base for them.
Oh yes, 100%. That's what the difference was in the first 6 overs. This time it's in the slot, played up in the air. Has it gone? Has it gone? Yes, it has. That's gone a long, long way. Big 6 coming from the bat of Mohammad Wasim. This is what he's known for. And finally, he gets one right from the middle of the bat and deposits it over the side screen into the long on fence. Big 6.
Well, this is his release shot and he needed this. That boundary before that, giving him a little bit of confidence. And that's 6. Finally taking him to a runner ball. 57 for 2 UAE. Still a lot of ground to cover. They need almost 100 runs in the last 10 overs. And they'll need Wasim to play similar to this for the next 3 or 4 overs if they want to stand any chance of taking that total down.
Oh, that's right. Yes, like I said, every over needs a boundary here for UAE to get to that total of 160. Every over needs to have 1 4 or a 6 at least. Mohammad Wasim is on 30 of 29, Usman on 3 of 4. And right now they have an opportunity against the spinners to go for it and put pressure on these bowlers in the middle overs. That will make their jobs easy in the death overs for UAE.
This is going to be a very interesting bowling change. They're bringing on another spinner. Jan had bowled a very good over before this. So Namibia is ringing in the changes. Merv Erasmus making those interesting bowling changes. The off spinner, very interesting action. Comes and bowls a dot ball. Shoaib, that reminds me a little bit of Harbhajan Singh, the way he approaches the wicket.
Yes, a similar looking bowling action from France. Yes, very similar to Harbhajan Singh. This time on the pads, loose delivery. He would be very unhappy, Mohammad Usman, missing out on that occasion. That could have been played anywhere and he could have earned a boundary, but not to be.
Yes, Usman will be very disappointed. He's missed out on that. That could have easily been a 4. It's one fielder in the circle, a short fine leg. Again on the pads, really well bowled. Right in the stumps. Not giving Usman a lot of room. But this is going to be very interesting to watch. France against Wasim. He's giving the ball a lot of air. We'll have to see if Wasim tries to go downtown just the way he did in the previous over.
Yes, he will be looking for a ball in the slot. Mr. Iftikhar Ali, the umpire for today. One of the experienced umpires in the UAE. Flighted delivery outside off. Nicely cut. Waiting for that ball, Wasim. So he's not going all guns blazing. He is playing on the merit of the ball. That is good for Wasim himself and for UAE, because if they want to chase this total down, they need Wasim or Usman, either of the two, to stay there till the end.
Well, we're having faced 30 deliveries now, Shoaib. I think it's Wasim's role to play through the innings. Usman definitely has a big role to play as well. But he's just walked into the crease. Again, France is bowling really well. Just the 4 singles, the first 5 deliveries that he's bowled. Wasim, now having faced 30 deliveries, scored 31. I think the bulk of the scoring has to be through him.
Yes, he's been looking good. So a mix of a bowling action from Yafrans. Hilaw Yafrans, that's his full name. I hope I'm getting that right. End of over number 11. UAE are 61 for 2.
Well, that's a very good over from France. Just the 4 runs given. (61 in 11 overs, Shoaib. That required run rate is now exactly 11. They need 99 runs in the last 9 overs. It's going to be a very exciting finish if they can get going, the UAE batsmen.
Well, I hope so. UAE needs to make a mark, play and win against Namibia, who's already qualified for the World T20 main event.
We'll have a look at that bowling lineup. Ruben Trumpelman, 2 overs, 8 runs. David Wiesa, 2 overs, 11. Johan Smith, 2 overs, 4. So they have 6 overs between them. And he's played it over the long on fielder for 6. So Wasim now getting a move on, playing the shots that he likes to play to get 6 runs.
Oh yes, a good looking shot. That's what Wasim is known for in the domestic circuit. Likes to play his shots freely. A very explosive batsman, and that is a proof how well he can connect once he starts going absolutely from the middle of the bat, clearing the boundary ropes by a few yards at least. He's on 38 now of 32. And Jan on under some pressure. This time straight to point fielder. No run there. Good comeback.
Yes, and I think this has been one of the problems with the UAE chase so far. When they get a boundary, the next few deliveries can be dot balls and just put a lot of pressure on themselves. We saw Namibia, when they get a 4, they were getting a single or a double the next ball, just getting off strike. And I think this is what Wasim needs to do as well. Again, another dot ball. So that's 6 in the first delivery and then 2 dot balls. So just adding pressure on themselves, the UAE batsmen. We all know Wasim can be devastating when he gets going. I think that's what he's lacking at the moment. Just taking that single, guiding it down to third man, get off strike, compose and come back again in the next over.
Yes, you're right. Again, a good looking shot taken for a single. So there are 3 left arm fast bowlers. In fact, they've gone for 2. This is good running between the wickets. Mohammad Wasim and Usman have ran hard for the first one, and that is why they've got another run in their kitty. This is good running.
Yes, brilliant running between the wickets. We saw that in the first inning as well. And UAE will have to match that if they want to take this total down. Wasim guiding it down to the third man. Then Mohammad Wasim pressuring him to take those 2 runs quickly.
And that has been taken, wicket number 3, and Usman, or is it Wasim? It's Wasim, in fact, who was on strike, and he has to walk back, and that's a big wicket for UAE. Namibia will fancy their chances even more now.
Well, one dab too many for Mohammad Wasim. We see him do this a lot. Absolutely no need, after getting 8 runs in that over so far, just guiding it into the keeper's hands. So poor shot, but a good innings nonetheless from Mohammad Wasim. 36 deliveries faced for his 39 runs. And UAE in a bit of trouble, 68 for 3 and 11.5.
Yes, that's the big wicket. The man who was set, Mohammad Wasim, has to walk back. Jan Fralink gets a wicket, gets his revenge, was hit for a 6, and then he's come back strongly in that over to take a wicket. Namibia look in complete control. They know what they're doing, and there will be pressure on the new man. Basil Hamid is the new man in for UAE. 11.5 overs, 68 for 3.
The new batsman Basil Hamid going to have a lot of pressure. There's still a lot of work to do for the UAE batting lineup, but they still have Rohan Mustafa, Kashif Dawood, Vritya Irvin to come. So if they can go at 8-9 runs and over for the next 5, at least there'll be some sort of base.
Oh yes, absolutely. They need a base. That's what they need. A base from Basil and Usman. Nicely played down the leg side for a single. Will just get one. Basil Hamid is also an experienced campaigner. Has a cool head, the right temperament. "12 overs gone, UAE 69 for 3. Tafa News Summer T20 Bash. There are 5 teams that are playing in this tournament. Alongside Namibia and UAE, there are matches played between UAE and Ireland. Papua New Guinea and Scotland are also participating in this tournament. So a lot of T20 internationals being played at the ICC Academy, and we are going to bring you all those matches live. So your dose of cricket is scheduled, and I'm sure you will enjoy all the cricket that is lined up for you.
For sure, this is absolutely perfect. You get a match in the morning, then about 2 o'clock you have an IPL game, and in the evening you have another IPL game. So by the time you hit the bed, you've gone through 4 T20 matches. It's what we would call as heaven.
Well, that's a 4-course meal. With the desserts, the main course, the starters, appetizers, you've got all of that right here in the UAE.
Yes, and all of this is happening in the UAE, as you said. If you're following it on TV or on YouTube, you can even get a glimpse of the Pakistan national T20 matches going on as well. So you've got the dessert, the main course, the appetizer. Everything happening right now in terms of cricket. Brilliant to watch.
That's right, a slower delivery played, but not timing it too well, Basil. And that happens when you're new at the crease. You're not sure about the pitch. You don't know how the pitch is faring. So you need some time out there to actually gauge the conditions well.
I really like the bowling changes from the captain Erasmus. He's brought in Ruben with the 2 new batsmen. Usman has just faced the 8 deliveries. Basil has faced 3. He had the short third man, short fine leg fielder for the right-hander, but this time there was a standard fine leg. Had there been a short fine leg, Basil would have been walking back. That last shot that he played didn't time it at all. But Ruben coming into bowl again. Short delivery. UAE batsmen have struggled a lot at the shorter deliveries.
That's right, this is a good ball. It was an effective bouncer, called one for the over. Usman was looking towards the umpire as soon as he missed it. But that was really a good delivery from Ruben. They have managed to keep things tight, haven't they, Namibia? It's as if they are playing in their home conditions. They are the home side. UAE, to their credit, have done decently well with the ball. But the batting has just been a little rusty, so to say. Good looking shot there. Will just get a single. So the bowling has been good, but the batting has not been up to the mark, and that is mainly because of a lack of cricket being played for UAE. And like we said, the last game that they had played was right up in January of this year. So since then, they haven't had a lot of international cricket. And maybe that's why they look a little bit rusty.
Well, Shoaib, they have been playing a lot of domestic cricket. You and I covered, as I mentioned, 50-over cricket tournament that happened a couple of weeks ago. A good-looking shot there by Basil. And we saw Basil do this in that domestic tournament, play straight down the ground and play it really well. So aggressive-looking shot for 4. But yes, I think from a UAE perspective, just getting that batting lineup correct in terms of the new players coming in. We saw Wasim, who's got his debut. Traditionally, it would have been Vritya and Chirag most probably opening the batting, or Rohan Mustafa opening the batting. Last ball of the 13th over. And again, in the context of the game, even though 7 runs have come off it, Ruben has bowled a very good over. 76 for 3, the UAE. But yes, it's a completely different ball game playing domestic cricket and then coming and facing an international team. Namibia, as you mentioned, on the verge of qualifying for the T20 World Cup. So they've been playing really good cricket. And having somebody like David Wiesa, who's an international superstar, coming into the lineup and guiding them as well. There's a completely different ball game from playing the local domestic scene.
Yes, you're absolutely right about the fact that they haven't played a lot of cricket with each other. And UAE as a team is just settling their playing 11. So that too is in process as we speak. They're trying quite a few bowlers. There are a lot of new additions in the squad. Sanchit Sharma has been added to the squad. Akif Raja is also a part of the setup. So a lot of work in progress for UAE.
Yes, and I have a feeling that we'll see the likes of Alishan Sharfu and Sanchit Sharma very soon. I think UAE today were a bowler short, a frontline bowler short. They had to use Mohammad Wasim, who didn't do badly, got the 2 wickets when he bowled. Well, Basil Hamid has thrown his bat at that, and the ball has gone straight behind the wicket keeper for 4. He had absolutely no idea where he had played that ball, but nonetheless, the result is what he was looking for. 4 runs coming off the bat. UAE moves across to 80.
Oh yes, fortune favours the brave, they say so. And on that occasion, Basil Hamid showed some courage, trying to go for a big heave. And the ball, just as you rightly said, on the keeper's head, straight behind him. They wouldn't mind that as long as they come. UAE are 80 for 3 now, 13.2 overs.
And I'm sure Namibia will not mind that as well. But that's a very good shot there by Basil Hamid over the mid-wicket fielder for 6. So UAE is definitely on the move now. 10 runs and 2 deliveries for Basil Hamid.
That's a shot of the day for me. What a great shot from Basil. Waited for that delivery and then tonked it towards the mid-wicket. Look at that, on the front foot. Nice balance. Everything right about that shot. And gets 6 runs for that beautiful shot. So 10 runs, as you rightly said, in the first 3 deliveries of the Smith over. And this is good pressure being put back onto Namibia at the right time from UAE, because that's what the doctor had ordered for UAE.
Yes, but they have to make sure that they make it count now. They convert this into a 14, 15, 16 run over. If they let Smith bowl out, just get maybe 1 or 2 runs more, Namibia will feel that they've gotten away. UAE needs 12 runs and over from here. Again, guides it down to third man for one. It's good cricket by Basil, but I think Usman will have to take charge as well. He'll have to go for a big shot here and make this over count.
Yes, you're right. As of now, Basil has been the major contributor towards the partnership. 18 of 9, scoring at 200 of a strike rate. So that's good. That's what is needed. Usman needs to up the ante as well. A few boundaries from him will definitely help UAE. Namibia in this over are under some kind of pressure. Short delivery, good ball there from Smith. Change of pace, a slower bouncer, not the quicker delivery. And playing a little bit too early, Usman, on that occasion.
Yes, again, the batsman is now under pressure. They've got just the 11 runs off the first 5 deliveries. This is what we were talking about. They could have easily made this a 14, 15, 16 run over. They'll have to try that. Usman will have to get a boundary or try to get a boundary in this delivery.
He tries and he is successful at that, getting a 6 right into the slot. Loose delivery, and Usman pounces on that, plays that straight down the ground. Beautiful looking shot. 6 to end the over. 14 overs gone, 93 for 3 now.
The UAE moving across to 93 now for the loss of 3 wickets. That last over, a big over in the context of the match and the chase. 17 runs off it. And now UAE is definitely looking on track. At required run rate is still at 11 runs and over. But that's very much manageable if they keep going. And they've made a big bowling change now. Brought in the big gun, David Wiesa. Who's given away only 11 runs in his 2 overs. Basil gets off strike quickly and takes a single.
Yes, David Wiesa been brought into the attack, aiming for a wicket here. In the last 2 overs, UAE have got some momentum going their way. 12 of 12 is Usman. Basil on 19 of 10. 94 for 3 now. Looking for a run, risky run, direct hit would have been trouble for the non-striker. Lucky there, the ball missing the stumps. Basil putting in a dive to save himself. But that would have been out had that been a direct hit.
Yes, that Basil was definitely a goner. Then very good backup by Bard as well. Saved 4 runs. That throw was really hard and I don't think long off or long on had any chance to stop it.
This time stepping down and clearing the infield. Has he timed it really well? We'll have to wait and watch. Well, it looks like they've saved a certain boundary. Good fielding again from Namibia. Overall, good cricket. Slower delivery from Wiesa. And then Usman coming out of the crease and playing and clearing the infield, which he knew was inside the circle. And then some good fielding display from Namibia. So overall, this is what good cricket is all about.
Yes, very good cricket indeed. Relay fielding, we've seen that become a norm now. 2 fielders chasing the ball instead of just the 1. Again, short delivery. Dot ball. Crucial dot ball at this stage. 64 runs needed of just 32 deliveries. Every dot ball counts now, and Usman just feeling that pressure. 15 balls faced, 14 runs. He was looking for a wide ball, but that was a very, very good bouncer. right over his shoulder. There's a lot of pressure now on the batting lineup of UAE. They need to score 64 runs. We're almost in the last 5 overs of this run chase.
Yes, that's right. Every ball counts now. Every dot ball is gold dust. Every boundary is gold dust for UAE as well. 14.5 overs, 97 for 3. Requires 63 of 31. Not impossible. It's still within the reach of UAE. They have a lot of batting firepower still left in the lineup. So it is important that these players perform today for UAE. Basil on 19, Usman on 15. A small handy partnership coming in between these two batters. Slower delivery, played that up in the air. Has not timed it too well. Fielder will not reach that ball. Lands in no man's land. Lands safely. Basil will breathe a sigh of relief. Will get a single. 15 overs gone, 98 for 3. It's time for a change in the com box. I will be stepping out, and replacing me will be Ahmed Khwaja.
That last delivery completely mistimed it, Basil, and very lucky that he had mistimed it, because had he got a little bit more bat on it, that would have gone straight into the hands of the long on fielder. David Wiesa bowling really well, giving away just the 5 runs in that over. Have a look at that batting lineup. A lot of starts. Mohammad Wasim 39 of 36 deliveries. Chirag Suri 11 of 16. Rizwan CP a run a ball 11. And Basil Hamid, who's faced 11 deliveries, has scored 20. Has been the enforcer in this chase. Mohammad Usman 15 of 16. As I welcome Ahmed Khwaja into the com box. Well, Ahmed, the last time in the first innings, the last 5 overs, didn't go for a lot of runs when UAE were bowling, and now they need to chase at almost 12 runs and over.
Thank you very much, Abdurrahman. Yes, indeed, the counter-attack is on. The charge is on towards that target of 160. 62 needed in 30 deliveries. They have a lot of batting left. It is certainly possible. Jan Freiling to continue. Down the ground, slapped over the top. No! What a catch, David Wiesa. My goodness, can you believe it? Absolutely stunning. I am absolutely speechless. Incredible.
Well, that's one thing watching this catch on TV. It's another thing watching live. We've had the pleasure of doing both. Have a look at that. David Wiesa covering a lot of ground and then full stretch drive. Well, that's the difference that you can see between an international player and an associate player. And I'm sure he's making that difference for Namibia as well. Absolutely brilliant catch that by David Wiesa. Big wicket. Basil Hamid goes for 20, having faced 12 deliveries. And UAE in a bit of trouble. 98 for 4 and 15.1.
Absolutely stunning. That man on screen, the big burly all-rounder. It's not easy to get across, move so swiftly. But David Wiesa has taken the catch of the summer so far. Absolutely incredible. You beauty.
The new batsman walking in, Rohan Mustafa. 2 left-handers now on strike. Not sure that would have been the right approach with Vritya still in the batting lineup. With right hand, left hand, right hand combination. I think Vritya has been pushed down too much in the batting order, Ahmed. But the experience of Rohan Mustafa and Usman now in the crease, and with 13 runs and over to get, I think it's the experience that they're counting on to see them across the line.
Unbelievable catch there from that man, David Wiesa. My goodness. Full length stretch to his left, producing a wicket just when the UAE were picking up some momentum. Now once again it's a rebuild. Rohan Mustafa, he'll get on with the game. He's not going to waste any time. Mohammad Usman at the other end, 15 off 16. Jan Freiling has 3 for to his name. Worked away towards mid-wicket. It'll only be a single, so he safely gets off the mark. But Team Namibia have been incredible in the field.
Yes, not just the catching, the ground fielding has been magnificent as well. They've saved a couple of short shot boundaries, put pressure on the UAE lineup in a chase. Every run counts. But that catch, absolutely magnificent from David Wiesa. Full stretch. You have to remember he's a fast bowler as well.
That was an absolute swan dive. My goodness. This has been flicked over the top of deep mid wicket straight to the fielder. And that's 4 wickets for Jan Freiling. Rohan Mustafa is gone for a golden duck.
Well, I think again we were saying UAE might have missed a trick here, having kept that right hand left hand combination. They've gone with Rohan Mustafa and he's placed that first ball right into the hands of the square leg fielder. Namibia is all over UAE, 99 for 5. The UAE team now in a lot of trouble, chasing a very big total of 160.
There was not a lot of time to get his eye set. He had to swing for the fences, didn't catch it quite on the blade. That's safely taken. Jan Freiling couldn't deliver with the bat, but he's been incredible with the ball. 4 for 13, and he still has 1.5 overs remaining.
Well, he's definitely fancy Michelle Pfeiffer this stage of the game. With the UAE team going hell for leather, a lot of the balls are going to be going in the air. We've seen the Namibia fielding setup is absolutely brilliant. Haven't dropped a lot of chances. Everything that's come their way has landed safely into the pouch. Well, again, a very interesting batting lineup change. Kashif Dawood coming in above Vritya Arvind. 99 for 5. 15.3 overs, and that required run rate now very close to 14 runs and over, Ahmed.
Indeed, it's a flurry of quick wickets. Slower delivery this time, completely outfoxed Mohammad Usman. Excellent stuff from Jan Freiling, learning from Zahoor Khan earlier in the day. Brilliant slower bouncer.
Yes, on this wicket, we've seen that slower bouncer just stick and stay there, never comes. As a batsman, you can play two. You can have a look. Usman has almost played 2 different shots there. Brilliant over so far.
This time powered down the ground. Chance for another wicket. Oh, this time he couldn't get there. If there was anybody in the Namibia team who could, it's David Wiesa. But this time even he couldn't perform a Herculean effort. 100 up for the UAE.
Well, another ball in the air. There was no fielder. Maybe you would question whether they should have had a mid-on in the circle. The fielder for mid-off tried to get there. Smith and David Wiesa coming in from long on as well. As we say, the ball just lands in no man's land. But Jan Freiling is creating opportunities, creating chances.
Kashif Dawood struck firmly through mid-wicket this time. And it's going all the way for 4. My goodness, he really nailed that one. Boundary to end the over.
Well, what a way to get off the mark on your debut. Now we know why he's come above Vritya Arvind. Brilliant shot there. Waiting for the short delivery. He's placed it to the left of the long on mid-on fielder. Goes all the way to the fence for 4. But again, even with that boundary, UAE is well behind the required run rate. They need 14 runs and over exactly from here to make a fist of this game.
56 needed of 24. It's going to take something very, very special from the red and grey of the UAE. Kashif Dawood on T20I debut. Strike rate of 400. Got a wicket to his name. It's not impossible. They have a lot of batting left. But it looks quite improbable. Namibia in firm control of the game. The Blue Eagles are soaring high in the skyline of Dubai. Mohammad Usman will be on strike then. Already struck a mighty 6 a couple of overs ago. So he definitely has the capability. 17 of 19 does not do justice to his talent. Johannes Smith to continue. Going to bowl his final over of the day. Length ball slapped over mid-wicket this time. But only a single. Good field placing there. by the captain Merve Erasmus.
And talking about captaincy, Ahmed, the bowling changes have been absolutely brilliant. They still have 1 over of David Wiesa up their sleeves. They've got Jan Franling to bowl 1 over as well, who's bowled magnificently so far. If you have a look at Jan Smith coming into bowl, and he's given away just the 20 runs in his 3 overs. So when you're defending 14, 15 runs and over, and you've got these 3 overs still to come, you know you've got that cushion.
Absolutely, and it's important to bowl within the team dynamics. This time down the leg side, given as a wide. And Johannes Smith, he's not express quick. He's not trying to bowl magic deliveries. He knows that the run rate equation is in Namibia's favor. So just stick it on a line and a length. Make the batters challenge the outfielders. And more often than not, they'll hole out.
And again, follow the book of Zahoor Khan if you can. Get those Yorkers in. Nail that leg stump base. That's exactly what he's tried to do.
This time struck down the ground firmly, and it's going all the way for 4. Kashif Dawood is dealing in boundaries.
It's very simple, this game of cricket. As Kashif Dawood has shown, just 2 deliveries. He's hit both of them for boundaries. He's asking what the fuss is all about. Brilliant looking shot there. Absolutely amazing timing. That piece of willow as well is looking amazing. Just check that shot and just gone into the fence. 1 bounce.
Bit of a slot ball there, and rightly dispatched by Kashif Dawood. Surveying the field on both sides. He'll take any boundary at this stage. 50 needed of 22. Can the UAE pull off a stunner here at the ICC Academy? It's game 1 of the Dafa News Summer T20 Bash. We have plenty of action coming up over the next week. Mohammad Usman and Kashif Dawood at the crease. Length delivery just bunted away to the cover fielder. Nelson on the board.
There was an interesting field change just before that delivery. They pushed fine leg back and brought in 3rd man. So definitely going to aim at the stumps and at his pads. If you look at that UAE dugout, looking a bit nervous at the moment. A lot of runs to get. 49 of just the 21 deliveries. UAE has taken 6 runs of the first 3 deliveries so far. They need to double that tally if they want to make this over count. 14 runs and over from here. Very difficult task, especially with just 1 more recognized batsman to come.
Johannes Smith getting through his 4 overs. Looks like a very handy cricketer. Hard hitter of the ball. Bowls seam up deliveries. Short ball this time flicked away by Mohammad Usman. Fine leg. Oh, that's brilliant fielding by the square leg fielder. Absolutely top class. He saved a certain boundary.
Well, as we've said before as well, that ground fielding from Namibia has been absolutely fantastic. The way they collect the ball and release it quickly, short delivery, played well by Usman, was always going away from the fielder. Look at that. And again, they've got the right fielders at the right place as well. He's a left-hander, so he was going to his strong side. It just gets the 2 runs.
Well, as they say, they've crossed the T's and dotted the I's very, very well today. I've been extremely impressed with Team Namibia. Their batting plans, their matchup strategies, their fielding effort, their bowling plans have been absolutely spot on. It's a very, very well-drilled unit. Looking forward to seeing them further in this tournament. Foolish delivery this time. Slapped towards that cover sweeper. They'll only manage a single. Frustration for Mohammad Usman.
Yes, and now again we're at that same stage. That last delivery has to count for the UAE. They have to get a boundary of this, at least a 4, if not a 6. With 46 runs to get in 19 deliveries, still a lot of work to do, and Kashif Dawood looks like a man with the plan. He'll have to get a boundary in this delivery, and Namibia will know that they can get away by just conceding a single or maybe even a double.
Round the wicket, in the air this time, extra cover, it's just over his head, lands in no man's land, and they'll scurry through for 2. So Johannes Smith will not get a wicket to his name this afternoon, but he's bowled exceedingly well for his side.
Well, a rare blip in the fielding from Namibia. The fielder at cover was thinking of backpedaling first, and then by the time he turned around, it was a bit too late. David Wiesa running in from mid-off, couldn't get to the ball as well. But the end result will be something that Namibia wouldn't mind, just the 2 runs coming off that delivery. 44 runs to get in 18 deliveries, 15 runs in over almost. Very, very difficult task now for the UAE. And Namibia will have to lose the plot completely if they're going to lose this game.
Well, I tell you what, Abdur Rahman, I've seen it happen. 44 of 18 is not impossible at all. There you can see the Mohammed bin Zayed Road right behind the ground. Access to the ground is very, very easy. You can always pop in for some live cricket at the ICC Academy, or in fact the Dubai International Stadium itself. World-class facilities for some world-class cricketers. 116 for 5 Team UAE. The home side looking to execute a thrilling run chase. That man on screen, Mohammad Usman, 21 of 22. He's in good nick. Recently scored a fantastic 100 in the Emirates D50 tournament. 44 of 18. Abdur Rahman, who are you backing?
Well, with that 1 over of Wiesa still to come, I think Namibia will fancy their chances.
This time short ball. My goodness, that was an opportunity. Could have been carved over point. Trying to play one shot too many, and it's a dot ball.
And with every dot ball, the pressure just keeps on mounting. They need a boundary delivery now. It's just a lot of pressure on Osman and Kashif Dawood. And the bowling has been really well. The fielding as well. It just adds up all that pressure on you.
This time tried to drag it away towards mid-wicket, only getting the bottom half of the bat. So Mohammad Usman not looking in good striking form right now, losing his shape. It'll be up to Kashif Dawood, who's on 11 of 4. He's gotten a couple of boundaries away. But Ruben Trunkelman is bowling really, really well here. He bowls a heavy ball, has good pace, banging the ball into the surface. It's climbing on the batters. So they perhaps might need to look at that ramp shot, or perhaps that paddle behind fine leg. Just surveying the field. Fine leg is in the circle, as is the short third man, so there is an opportunity. But you can expect Ruben to change his length. He's going to pitch it up. Long on and long off have been posted back. It requires a lot of ability to execute under such pressure. Foolish delivery, slapped over the top. The cover sweeper getting underneath it, and he takes a brilliant catch. It's the captain himself, Merv Erasmus, striking. UAE lose their 6th wicket. Kashif Dawood gone for 11.
Big wicket again. Great fielding, great catching by Namibia. Wide outside off stump, going over the cover fielder, trying to get that boundary. And very, very good looking catch. That absolutely brilliant from Namibia in the field. And again, just too much pressure now on the UAE.
Kashif Dawood, then 2 boundaries to his name. Short and sweet stay at the crease. Now the wickets are falling in a bunch for UAE. And the new batter is the captain himself, Ahmed Raza, striding out to the middle. That strike rate certainly does not do justice to his big hitting ability. He wields that long handle very well and hits the ball a mile. $117 for 6, the UAE. It's been a learning curve, a very steep one this afternoon. Now maybe I've shown why they're on the cusp of qualifying for the World T20. Some extremely crucial fixtures coming up for them in about a fortnight, when they take on Sri Lanka in round 1 of the ICC World T20. But till then, they have to contend with the feisty UAE national team. Short ball this time, outside off. And the umpire has let it go. One for the over. More frustration for the UAE. Of course, they did win the toss in the morning, elected to bowl first. I think they would have been fairly satisfied with chasing 160 in these conditions. But the Blue Eagles of Namibia have been absolutely spot on. Slapped over the top of deep mid wicket. That's going all the way for half a dozen. That's more like it from Mohammad Usman.
Well, important hit that for UAE. They still need 37 runs in 13 deliveries. But that's a big 6 from Usman. He's been at the crease for a long time. Slower delivery. Just in the arc for Usman. Is that the hope that UAE is looking for in this run chase? 37 runs to get in 13 deliveries. Usman 28 of 26.
Absolutely nailed that slower delivery. Picked it right out of the hand of Ruben Trenkelman. And gone all the way. If he can hit 2 or 3 more of those, they'll be in business. Final delivery of his spell then. This time hit towards deep mid wicket once again. It is the captain Merve Rasmus once again. So Trumpelman has got a 2 in the over. Mohammad Usman holds out to cow corner.
Big wicket that for Trumpelman and for Namibia. Again, Usman trying to go towards that mid-wicket boundary, trying to get that 6. But he's only found the fielder, and Trumpelman has finished that over really well for Namibia. A lot of pressure now on the UAE. 37 to get. Just 12 deliveries. The new batsman Vritya Arvind walks in at 8.
Mohammad Usman then 2 sixes to his name. Not a very fluent innings. Even he will admit that himself. It's certainly back to the drawing board for Team UAE. They're taking on a high-class opponent and they'll need to up their game. Meanwhile, it's young Vritya Arvind coming in. 37 required of 2 overs. It will take some doing. The game looks almost out of their reach. Anything can happen. Cricket is a very funny game. But Namibia will need to have an absolute disaster to lose this from here. 123 for 7 UAE after 18 overs. David Wiesa continuing here, nicely cut away towards that backward point fielder, and they'll only get a single. Once again, outstanding fielding by the Blue Eagles.
Yes, and Vritya Arvind, not a bad shot to get off the mark. That is what makes us wonder why he didn't open the batting. He would have taken advantage of that hard ball with the power play going on. But that ground fielding again. We've seen that ball go for 4 when UAE was fielding. A couple of times just through the fielders.
Ahmed Raza, the captain, punches it hard down the ground. But it'll only be a single. David Wiesa is very, very experienced. He knows exactly what length to bowl at the death end of an innings. Just pitch the ball up. Don't let the batter get underneath the ball. Nothing in the slot, nothing back of a length. He's been a fantastic addition to this side, given them a lot of self-belief and match-winning ability. This time worked away over the keeper. This time short third man in the circle, giving it an almighty chase, but is going for 4. Vritya Arvind has flipped it behind the keeper for 4.
Well, is it a case of too little too late now, Ahmed? That boundary, crucial boundary from Vritya behind the wicket keeper, and we've seen him do this so many times in domestic cricket and for UAE as well. Valiant effort there. Nonetheless, the ball goes for 4. 31 runs in 9 deliveries.
This time lovely punch through extra cover, and that's going to be back-to-back boundaries for Vritya Arvind. My goodness, he's striking the ball beautifully.
Well, David Wiesa, believe it or not, has gone for 8 runs in 2 deliveries. Vritya Arvind 9 of 3, 27 needed of 8. UAE is making a fist of this now.
Lovely execution, that bottom hand coming through, beating that extra cover fielder, and once he found that gap, it was always going for 4. This time short ball nicely pulled away towards square leg, only for a single, so David Wiesa content to get him off strike. It's always a game within a game. 26 needed of 7. Abdurrahman, what do you think?
Well, for one, this ball needs to go for 6. With 20 needed of the last over, that still might be an opportunity for the UAE. But if this goes for a single or double, if they lose a wicket now, I'm afraid that's going to be a bit too much.
Full toss, hit hard straight back to the bowler. It's burst through his hands. And they're pushing for 2 and they will get it. That's good running. So Ahmed Raza, the captain, couldn't get a boundary, but he did pick up 2 runs. 24 required off the final over. Can Team UAE perform a miracle?
Well, David Wiesa trying to stop that ball. Might have injured it. It looks okay to continue. Maybe he will field for the last ball. They will need him. Again, hit really hard. You can see it hits his hand, then goes straight to the long off fielder. Well, 24 runs to win for the UAE in the last over, Ahmed. I feel it's 10 runs too much in the context of the game. The highest runs scored in 1 over so far have been 17.
And is going to be the man with 4 wickets to his name already. Jan Freiling to bowl the final over of the innings, the final over of the game. Vidya Arvind, 10 of 4. He's been busy at the crease. 2 boundaries to his name. But it's been a pretty decent fight here from Team UAE. Of course, they are playing together as a national side after about 8 or 9 months. So there will be some growing pains. They will need to work on that combination and that batting order. Jan Freiling flipped over the keeper this time short. Third man is giving chase, but it's going all the way for 4. Vidya Arvind, can you perform a miracle this afternoon at the ICC Academy?
Well, that's a good start there for the UAE. Premeditated and very well played by Vidya right behind the keeper. You can see that third man fielder was anticipating that, but was unable to stop it. So with 24 needed of 6 deliveries, that first ball has gone for 4, and all the pressure is now on Freiling.
My goodness, what a battle this is going to be now. Bowled within the stumps, and there it is. He's bowled him. That's 5 wickets for Jan Freiling. What a performance he's given for the Blue Eagles this afternoon. You beauty. Brilliant bowling.
You miss, I hit. That was the plan. First time Vidya got some bat on it. This time, unfortunately, just walked across a bit too much, showing all 3 stumps. And Freiling keeping his composure, hitting the middle stump. You can see the frustration from Vidya. He thinks he's missed out on that, but 5 wickets for Freiling. Absolutely brilliant bowling.
He has been outstanding for the Blue Eagles. Vidya Arvind, 14 of 6, an enterprising innings, 3 boundaries. He will certainly looking to get a promotion in match day 2 of the Dafa News Summer T20 Bash. But this man on screen, he has been spectacular with the ball. Look at that, shuffling in his crease and trying to flip that over fine leg. Frustration, taking it out on the stumps. But 5 wickets in a T20 game, that is something very, very special.
Yes, do remember this is a T20 international game, so all these stats count. So we have a look at the new batsman now. Sultan Ahmed, the left-hander coming in. He's got a strike rate of 103. Unfortunately, they'll need a strike rate of 400 from him if they want to see this game through. Just the 4 deliveries left. Have a look at that. 22 runs given in 3.2 overs and 5 wickets taken.
Oh. Absolutely brilliant stuff here from Jan Freiling. Some healthy banter between him and Sultan. So it looks like it's going to be a job well done by the Blue Eagles. This is the 5th wicket. The big moment. What a moment for him in his career. 5 wickets in a T20I. You don't see that very often, especially from a seam bowler. Oh, he's beaten him all ends up, and that should seal victory for Team Namibia, barring some errant extras from Jan Freiling. They've got the game in the bag.
Well, Ahmed, considering they've just given the 4 extras in the whole game, I don't think the extras are going to be an issue now. But 20 runs to win. Just the 3 deliveries. UAE have fallen short.
Down the ground towards deep mid wicket. Marway Erasmus. Safe as houses. 6 wickets for Jan Freiling. What a day he's having at the ICC Academy.
Well, we were talking about Zahoor Khan and his spell where he took 4 wickets in the last 2 overs that he bowled. Freiling has upped him, taken 6 wickets in the match. Absolutely brilliant bowling. What a spell there by the left armour. Ball going in the air, and again, once it's in the air, it's definitely going to fall safely into the hands of a Namibian fielder. They've been absolutely brilliant in the field.
What a performance, Jan Freiling. 6 for 22. My goodness. Sultan Ahmed goes for a duck then. Not much to do in that situation. Zahoor Khan striding out to the middle. UAE down to their 11th batter. They've toiled hard, they've battled hard, they came close. But it's those slim margins, those inches you need to achieve victory. All of those have sided towards Namibia, whether it be with the bat or in the field or in bowling. Slapped over mid-wicket this time. Straight to the fielder. And Ahmed Raza is like, never mind mate, I'll just keep the strike. So much to learn from this game for Team UAE. Plenty of matches still to come. They got pretty close. And they have all the talent, all the ability to take it one step further. But the man of the moment is that man on screen. Jan Freiling bowling the final delivery of the game. Hit away towards mid-wicket. And that is going to just about pull up. Excellent fielding. Look at that effort even when victory is sealed. And it's going to be Team Namibia conquering Team UAE in the first match of the Dafa News Summer T20 Bash. A comfortable victory by 17 runs. That man on screen, Jan Freiling, with a 6 for. Sensational performance.
Well, if there is one match where you don't have to decide the man of the match, it's this one here. Freiling with 6 wickets in a T20 game. Absolutely magnificent. And again, back to the drawing board for the UAE. They were good in patches. The last 5 overs that they bowled were magnificent. And then they start in the middle, their batting was really well. But the power play is where they lost a lot of their momentum, the UAE, especially in a run chase where you want to score 160. I think they were very slow in the first 6 overs, and that's where they lost the game, leaving a bit too much in the last few overs. Namibia winning the first game by 17 runs. The Dafa News Summer T20 UAE Bash.
A very exciting game to open this tournament. Namibia getting the victory, looking a very professional, a very well drilled outfit. I've been extremely impressed. Their batting was excellent. Their bowlers bowled to their fields. And one of their bowlers getting a 6-wicket haul in a T20 game. That is absolutely spectacular. Well done to them. And they're looking in fine form. This is the batting scorecard for Team UAE. Then chasing 160. Mohammad Wasim toiled hard, 39 of 36. Did not take advantage of the batting power play. Chirag Suri, 11 of 16. Rizwan Sipi, a runner ball, 11. Mohammad Usman, 28 of 27. So the consistent pattern is the strike rates have not been quite good enough to chase down 160. Basil Hamid, 20 of 12. But after that, it was a steady procession of wickets going down. And Jan Freiling ruling the roost with 6 wickets to his name.
Well, have a look at the bowling card and you'll see that one name, Jan Freiling, 4 overs, 24 runs, 6 wickets taken. And Ruben Trumpelman and David Wiesa with the new ball were absolutely magnificent. 4 overs, 22 for 2 for Ruben and David Wiesa, 29 runs and 1 wicket taken. His last over was a bit expensive. The rest of the bowlers just providing the support. One of the key things here, Ahmed, is the 3 extras, just the 3 extras. And I think 2 of them were leg by, so they've bowled their quota of just the 20 overs. No extra deliveries given to the UAE to give them any opportunity to chase this total down. Absolutely clinical, especially in the field as well. They've taken all their catches, done a magnificent job, Namibia, to win the first game.
Right then, let's take a look at the highlights of the second innings. The UAE were given 160 to chase. And interestingly, Namibia chose to bowl with a lot of fast bowling. David Wiesa took the new ball from one end, was worked away behind the wicketkeeper. This was a catch, Chirag Suri holding out at mid-off. Then it was Rizwan CP, struck a few good-looking boundaries. Mohammad Wasim finally counter-attacked after taking a lot of time. That one was carved over the top of cover point. Jan Freiling came in and then started taking wickets for fun. That one caught a short fine. He'd be disappointed with that. Mohammad Wasim finally opened up, this time flicking it over the top of backward point for 4. This one powered down the ground. That's his speciality. He's really good against spin. When you pitch it up to him, it's going to disappear. And this one, just edging it behind. Basil Hamid came in, struck a few boundaries. That was a very good looking shot over the bowler. This time then got his shape all wrong, but fortunately picked up a 4. Johannes Smith was quite reliable. That was a top shot, pulling off the front foot. But then Basil Hamid came down with an absolute stunner from David Wiesa. That was brilliant. Jan Freiling then started to pick up wickets for fun. Caught at deep square leg, caught at cow corner. They kept peppering that boundary. Kashif Dawood as well, hitting a nice 4 there. Even this was a very well executed on drive, but the run rate just kept climbing steadily. Mohammad Usman with a big 6 over cow corner, read that slower delivery beautifully, but next ball, this time it was miscued, and the captain Marwe Erasmus taking a very safe catch. He was brilliant in the field. Vidya Arvind gave a sliver of hope, some stylish boundaries, but then playing across the line, frustration, and he'll be looking to get a promotion in the next game. Match summary of the first game of the UAE Summer T20 Bash. Namibia were put into bat first, got 159 for 8 in their allotted 20 overs. Craig Williams with a fantastic 50, 57 of 37. Stephen Bard, the opener, played really well, 39 of 34. Merve Erasmus, the captain, 27 of 19. Zahoor Khan had a very special day, 4 for 29. Mohammad Wasim getting a 2 for, and Kashif Dawood with an early wicket. And in reply, UAE could only muster 142. Mohammad Wasim, 39 of 36. Mohammad Usman, 28 of 27. Jan Freiling, the pick of the bowlers for the Blue Eagles, 6 for 24. He is certainly in with a very strong shout for the man of the match, as Namibia won by 17 runs. So a good examination here of Team UAE. They've come together after 8 or 9 months playing domestic cricket. And Jan Freiling, certainly the man of the match, 6 for 24, Abdurrahman.
Yes, and crucial wickets. Mohammad Wasim, Rizwan CP, Basil Hamid, the top 3 batsmen of the UAE in his kitty. And then he got Rohan Mustafa first ball. Then after that, Vidya Arvind, and just finished off the game for the UAE and for Namibia. 6 wickets in a T20 game. Absolutely magnificent bowling from Jan Freiling.
A very, very well-deserved performance for him. That is all we have from day 1 of the Dafa News Summer T20 Bash 2021. We have a rest day tomorrow, but we'll be right back after that for more live cricket action from the ICC Academy. Good afternoon and take care.